chemicals. I know they're cynical.
Paulie, welcome back.
Happy to have you here. Happy to have you on the show.
Thanks, bud. Thanks for having me, man. You know what? This fucking crazy. All the homies that we got in the house for the episode.
It's gonna be a homies kind of day.
Yeah, homies only.
I'm pumped. Homies only podcast.
Yeah, it's gonna be a special
Episode
one.
4.
Yo, homies in the background, just shout out, say what's up, dog.
Shout out. Yeah, we'll see a couple people around. We'll see a couple. We're gonna do a little musical chair.
Yeah, a bunch of drip. Did I hear Drippinese out there?
I think Drippinese is in the house.
Shit,
yeah,
man.
I think
Man, the windmills keep moving, baby.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
go.
we got that.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
They keep moving, man. We're on that energy base right now.
Oh man, let's
that
go.
energy vibe. Should we cheers as we always do?
Yeah. So,
It's February, man.
cheers to all the notes in your book, bro.
Yeah, can I show everyone I should be looking over here. My podcast planning for the day.
Oh,
I shit the bed a little bit on that. But I got it all right here, bro. I got it all right here. Yeah, I got as far as podcast planning.
yep.
And I don't know what happened, but I think I just said oddcast planning, and then I had to write P over the O. Anyways, and then I got a line through it, so that's as far as I got.
Hey, well, I got a little further.
There you go.
We're gonna be all right.
We'll be okay.
We'll be all right.
I guess I don't have to pretend the whole episode that I'm looking at my notes
No,
and stuff
that
this
one-
time.
you
Yeah,
said
yeah,
that shit over
yeah.
there,
Now
right?
everyone's gonna be like, he's at the.
Yeah, you can't even look at it one more time this episode because everyone knows the shit's
fuck
empty. It's gone.
Fuck that. Anyways, but we're ready. We're
Yeah,
good.
man. So what? It's February, pretty big month for a few things.
It's flying by this year, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Can't believe
It's
it's February
already
already.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Valentine's Day,
That's-
I guess.
Yeah. Super excited about.
Yeah. Obviously, some better topics than Valentine's Day to dip on.
Yeah,
for all you lovebirds out there.
Yeah, your day's
Don't
coming.
hate. Yeah.
All you single ones
Yeah,
out there.
I'm not drinking any haterade. I'm
Stay
down.
salty.
I'm down.
Yeah,
It's
gonna
all
be-
good.
Yeah, it's gonna be all
Drinking
good.
something else.
Yeah, I was gonna say Super Bowl's coming up.
Super Bowl's coming up.
I think we're
That's
gonna
be
get
fun.
to that a little later. I think we have some.
I think that's a
opinions in
fun
the house.
conversation, but it might be more opinionated.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll start running up some.
I know where you
numbers,
stand.
but
I know where I stand. So
We'll get to that a little bit.
run up some
later.
numbers. We'll see. Maybe we'll put a little money on the table.
Yeah, we'll see what people put their mouth.
Can you
at.
bet on camera? Doesn't
Man.
who cares, right?
Yeah, if you were checking our shit and they get on us for that,
We're betting M&Ms. Don't worry
we're
about
doing
it.
good, bro. It's all good.
So yeah, that and then obviously big topic
Big
of
one.
the month.
Yeah, obviously Black
History Month, right?
And even the topic of it being the topic for the month is
That's
the
already a
topic.
conversation.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like that one's a little bit layered. I know I might take it some type
Peel
of way.
back the layers.
Yeah, there'll be a
Yeah.
couple layers that peel back on this one, but I think that why don't we start there?
I think that's a smart one to start with.
Yeah, definitely. Because off top, I think obviously it's it means a lot for certain things to be acknowledged to some of us, and to everyone who, even if you're just a humanist, like any issues are human issues like that to me, right?
Yeah.
So it should be a big month, I guess, for everyone, but I guess then should it not be a big fucking year for everyone all the time?
Yeah. At this point, we're talking about equality all
Yeah.
around, and at the moment, obviously, the month that we're talking about Black equality, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
talking about, so.
Starting on February 1st, it becomes, and I'm happy to see it important to some
two sides to
people
that
and
coin, right?
businesses,
With-
but
yeah.
when it's on your promotional calendar, so from a business side,
Yeah.
I think it's tough because we work in marketing. As a business owned by people of color and stuff, obviously you see this, what are your obligations as a business
Your
during this time?
responsibilities,
Yeah, to spread the right message.
The right message,
Yeah.
bring up awareness.
Yeah.
There's a lot to take into account, but it's in one way it's like walking on eggshells because where do you stand on the it's
there should be a one clear stance.
the stance on it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
how you approach
Yeah.
the
Communicating that
topic, how you
stance.
communicate
Yeah.
it, how much either support or awareness or action are you taking as a person or a business? And we're bringing it up because we obviously you have made some decisions, even when Black Lives Matters, that whole the protest, the run of that, when that happened, we were already in business, so we already had to kind of have this conversation of what's the right move.
And it wasn't even February.
It wasn't even February, so we were 1 month
Imagine
deep,
that.
and we're how do we move into this? Yeah.
It's on February 1st, maybe a little petty, but man, sometimes it's so funny. You just see the Instagram pictures change, and it's just like on the calendar.
Yeah.
And I guarantee, and March 1st, the shit changed right back.
Right
man.
back.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so for me, something was like,
campaigns,
it's like there's the side of it's like it's good, but then there's like if you're pandering as a business just to get likes and stuff, like I don't dig that shit. You know what I mean? Like I really don't.
Of course.
Right?
I mean, you're African American running a business, so it's like you kind of take some of that shit to heart, right?
You know what I mean? But and as you too, I mean,
people of
obviously
color,
as
right?
people of color, when we're talking about equality, but I mean, it's just there's like equality is a human issue, right? And so this is one struggle, obviously this month being highlighted. I think the thing is that you brought up was what did we do about it and how did we feel? And it was tough for us, and it is because, like last year, for instance, you see moves being made, and it was dope to see movement on social media and digital platforms when people are locked down and quarantined. How do they show their support?
Yep.
Like definitely get that. You know what I mean? I think sometimes it was crazy how things devolved. You know what I mean? To
Yep.
like, whoa, the black square you put up on your Instagram page
Right.
isn't the right
Yeah.
hue of black square. So now
The
you're
right
not down with the
hashtag,
movement. Your
if you put
hashtag
up the
was
the
wrong.
wrong hashtag, then it's
Yeah.
like, well, did you really care? It's like, is that the...
If you didn't put it on IG at
Is
the
that
thing,
what-
were you there?
Yeah, is that what we're
Indeed.
talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
you
is
really
that...
March,
yeah,
bro?
yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I think you're on point with that. Like, I mean, I think the bigger question becomes intention.
Yeah,
Exactly. And with intention, a lot of people have great intentions,
Yeah.
and so there can't be judgment and saying like, hey, like you didn't care enough, because that's not the right way to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there, with that intention, and if you're gonna be about it and standing on a platform and speaking your mind, you also have to have knowledge, and there's responsibility with that knowledge, so it's like taking the time, not jumping on a wagon, and also just like making your own educated decision. So that takes the time of, and I've seen a lot of great like posts lately about people saying like, you know what, I'm taking a step back and actually doing my own homework and not so
educating
much about,
myself.
not so much about the clout or the likes or how much I get out
if
of
you're
it.
clout
but-
chasing over this, that's got to be one of the lowest
that
things.
can't
like
be, right?
clout
So whether
chasing
it's like a business that sees it as an opportunity or people that are looking for like, the selfie saying I like Black Lives Matter or something like that.
It's
Like
the trending hashtag.
So it's like, how's the selfie? So it's like, but what's the intention behind it, right? And so ideally everyone has a different, diverse way of doing it, but I think there needs to be responsibility and education to go through with it. If you're gonna make that choice of like, I want to like go on my social media, I want this for my business, I want to like take that avenue and route of doing it X way or Y, but just taking a responsible approach to it.
Dude, I want to like highlight something that you did last year because Paulie's talking about it, and it's like it's conceptual in some degrees, but it's like what comes down to what did you do and what are you doing? And I think one of the things you hit on is platforms. And I think businesses have a platform, but it's too often that we look at IG or Facebook as our platform only to do these things, right? And one of the platforms that I'm speaking for us, and Paulie was the one who had the idea last year. And I remember when shit was hitting the fan and I wanted to do something like, Paulie, what are we going to do? Like, I need to do something, but I was emotional about it, right?
Emotional,
and then so I had to pull back.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you remember hollered that. I remember, and it was like a Sunday morning. And I remember I telling you the sun came out, man, and you had this idea, and you were like, yo. And it came, before I get to that, I say that to say this, figuring out what your platform is and how that you can utilize your platform to the best. And what is your platform? And social media isn't our platform.
It's a tool.
Fashion and lifestyle is our platform. And we quickly realized that doing something on that platform was the best way for us to affect change.
That's when we decided that, because it wasn't like just you hit it, like it's social media isn't our platform. Fashion is our platform.
That's a tool.
And that's a tool to showcase and use our platform. So it's like going back to the roots. What are you actually doing? You know, so like our talents lie in fashion marketing, fashion design, building that kind of community hub. So going back there, instead of just being like, let's use social media to use our platform, it's like, no, let's break it down a little more and be like, this is our shop, this is our...
Okay, Paulie's not going to tell you. He's
life.
being humble. Paulie came up with a great idea. I'm just going to get you there. And I want you to tell what drove you to that idea and to help. Because, I think when me saying this, and then you talk about it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, like, you hit me up and were like, why don't we do Black Lives Matter socks and let's donate the profits to a charity.
Yep.
And we sat and it was like
wearing them.
And we're wearing them. Shit, baby.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. And man, we made it, but before we get to that, we just were like, holy, and it was a brain flash when you said that. And it was like, yeah, this is what we do. And we can really affect more change rather than, and not throwing shade at the IG post, but not being restricted or feeling that was the platform we had to use.
Yeah.
And that was huge for us. And to be able to raise thousands and thousands of dollars for Campaign Zero and donate it was one of the strongest things I feel that we've done in this last year of business. But tell me what, like between you and me, what flashed you on that one, bro? That was amazing.
I guess it was cool. Like, I mean, you inspired me a little bit because I knew how worked up you were getting a little bit about everything that was going on, the climate in the world. And it was, and I felt for you. And I know how emotional you can get about things.
Damn,
I know how worked out you can get.
Like episode 2.
Not in a bad way, man. Not in a bad way. We all know Sean, right? If he gets fired up, he starts like ranting
about shit.
Yeah.
Let's get passionate, man.
So I mean, his, and we've had a lot of work and a lot of talk this past year, and I feel like we both have grown a lot. But a lot of our growth is even just as a business, like our reaction versus our response, and taking that time to not react to any ongoing trends or to start having controversial conversations or to it's like, let's just take a step back. And so I knew just looking at you and in your heart, like you wanted to do something and you were struggling through it. And man, as a bro, that hurt me, that I started feeling it hard. I've never had to feel I
put my shades on.
I'm a person of color. Sure. I'm Latino, but I've never felt it the way you have had to, and a lot of people in your race have had to, and that's just reality. That's just facts. So it hit me in a way that I'm like, fuck, man, this is probably the realest it's ever been to me. Just knowing that you're the guy I stand beside 7 days a week. I see you 6 to 7 days a week.
I think I see Paulie more than anybody else in my life. Sorry, babe.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Sorry, mom. Sorry,
Sorry, Winston.
Yeah, straight up, Paulie. It's Paulie. It really is. It's Paulie.
Second, man.
So
he's number 2.
Yeah.
So in saying that, I just thought, and I mean, it really coincided nicely with this time when we started doing our own socks. And the thing we really loved about this sock company coming out of Vancouver was that...
Shout out Carolyn over at Your City Sports, man.
Your City Sports, Vancouver,
appreciate you,
Carolyn.
man, for all your good work, yo.
But part of their program from the beginning has been buy one, give one kind of
for
thing.
For everyone
right?
that we order, they donate one.
Every sock that we order, they donate one to a homeless shelter in your community.
Or anywhere you choose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's been their typical platform. We've been sending them to our, to the Gospel Mission House in, in Kelowna here. But for this one, I mean, so I thought, I'm like, what if we do our socks and do a black one and we can give all the proceeds to charity, which was dope, and which we did to Campaign Zero, which we can touch on if we want to, or just look it up.
Here, it's basically ending police violence nationwide by actually putting in place community programs and nationwide policy reform and education. It's one thing to say
policy makers,
this sucks, but are you investing in the change?
Yeah. So it's like that. We saw that as more of a longevity type of way that we could help and donate to, because that's how you're gonna, it's the education that's actually gonna provide the change for the next generations. Which, I mean, if you look at generations past, where we at, it's education that's gotten us to where we're at today. The awareness that we have today. So glad to say, I'm sure every one of our homies right here is on the same page of mindset that we're kind of on with it. So it's dope to see that. But anyway, so that was a dope place that we wanted to put our money in. But with this Black Lives Matter socks, we were able to actually donate all the socks instead of to our community. We donated them to, if you want to look
to the Assistance League Bay in Houston. And basically, we looked them up because that's where George Floyd is from. And we basically went to the neighborhood he was from, and we had the socks donated.
So not only another place in need, another community going through some hardships, but even symbolically, and even just what that meant in general.
We all stand together in this. We're
standing together.
Over
so
borders and all that.
In plenty of ways.
That was crazy. And you know what?
What you
said, that was probably one of the best things I was proud of last year. We've been in, actually, when you see this too, it'll be about 1 year we've been in business as far as the shop goes, officially. And in the last year of business, I can say that's probably been one of the proudest moments I had of us as a business.
I agree.
Is making those moves
100%.
and helping that out. So that was, and you know what I mean? And that's what we're full circle. Here we are again, Black History Month. You know what I mean? And we're going to be doing, obviously, we got some teas coming out. We're going to be doing some same moves to donate, right?
Exactly. We're going to be at it again.
That's our moves, you know what I mean?
I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to, as people and business, like for me, what it all comes down to is values. What your values are.
Yeah. And showing them.
So being
not
able,
just saying
well,
them.
that's the thing about values is you can
talk all you want.
Let's just say, like, I mean, I can bring up any stereotypical, example, like, hey, let's say you want to be a good dad, but, and again, I'm not trying to talk about it, this is an example, but you work all day, you work all night, and, someone's like, well, what are your values? And you're like, oh, I do this all for my family. I do it all for my family. But if you're not spending time with your family, like, are your values actually with your family or with your work? And you can get puzzled in the difference, but you have to, values need action, So it's like, if you're going to say you're a family man, you have to find out ways to, like, make money for your family, put bread on the table. But is it like, maybe my wife and I share jobs, or like, maybe I'm doing this, or everyone has
money's not everything your family needs from you right now.
Maybe your kid wants to grow up with his dad, and again, it's different for everyone. And that's just an example that I'm saying, but values need action. And so for us, if we look in the past year, what our values are, that was a big one. It's like, like, what do we stand for, So to do that, even if it's once a year, a couple times a year, throughout
even if it's not February,
even if it's not February, whatever it is, but if that's something we stand behind and we can put action towards it, then yearly I can look back throughout the year and see where our values lie. And that's one of the big ones.
Yeah, no, that's, what it also reminds me that during that time, which was crazy, side note, Albert's double fist. Let's go, baby. Yeah. One of the things that
Albert's double fist, man.
What's understood don't need to be said, baby. You heard me.
That's right. They both taste good. I just can't decide. Sometimes I just had, like, I talk for, like, way too long. I'm like, fuck, I'm thirsty. And otherwise, I'm like, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, I need a little. So it's like
sweet and salty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just beer and bourbon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I drank my 2 liters of water already. I'll chuck another liter before I go to bed. So.
But before I get too sidetracked by beer and bourbon, what I was gonna say,
we're about to get sidetracked.
we're gonna get sidetracked. So, but one thing I wanted to say though, one of the dope projects also, speaking of Black History Month, would also brings something up. And I remember last year, and as our homie Baylan, who's actually in the house, so maybe we'll holler at him in a second.
You
know what I mean?
We'll bring him up in the hot seat real quick. But
we'll let him speak on it. But I remember when we were going through all this and all stuff was going on, and like, there was, a march out here, and, there was some, like, okay, who's behind it? And there was, like, talk about things. And so not everyone was sure what moves to make. And, how do you show your support at that time? Do you go out and march at a rally? Do you do this IG post? Do you do this? And our homie Baylan was kind of like, he was at points like, I really want to do something.
Those are good questions to ask, by the way. Like,
how do I help? And he's like, I want to do something substantial. And he's like, and I just don't feel that this other stuff, like, some people might look at me one way for not being here or that, but I want to do more. And it was crazy because that also coincided with the first collab that we did with him. You know what I mean? And he ended up doing this crazy jacket, which is you have a memento on.
A little memento
on the collar, right? Yeah, that
jacket,
heart Loverboy, right? Yeah. And he did that jacket Loverboy, and I'll have him come up. Ask him to come talk about it with us. You know what? Fuck.
Let's get him.
Baylan, you ready to come and talk?
Baylan, you wanna grab a seat?
Yeah. Why don't you come talk this real quickly on this, man?
Pulling that shit up for you, bro.
Yeah. Paulie left it nice and hot for you, dog.
Call it the hot seat for a reason.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, make some noise for Baylan coming out here. Yeah. What's up, man?
You're coming even closer to the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Look, we ain't got no presents underneath your seat or no shit, man.
You might find some dust.
But, no, I slept pretty good. I slept pretty good, man.
You slept pretty good.
Yeah, and mopped even, man.
I guess the homie.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
It's fucking bright up here.
Yeah, but it's a hot seat for a reason, baby. The big lights, baby. We're doing it.
Afraid of white boys? What are we using?
So, but yeah, you heard what we were talking about.
Yeah,
and you
for sure.
showed this on here, and was I kind of, you correct anything? Was I off when we saying?
I want to quickly
not at all.
I want to quickly start off by when we first met you, and how that really turned into the collab really quick.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because
yeah.
it happened pretty like 1, 2, 3, right? So.
Yeah, totally.
I
just I don't know. You guys were obviously started a really cool business doing pretty stuff that we haven't really seen in Kelowna before, or really needed in our fashion scene. Cool. Just taking a focus on unique menswear and that kind of thing. And
Appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, man.
so, and I, in the past, like, whatever amount of time, was just kind of like screwing around at home, trying to learn how to embroider and do like kind of tattoo style shit on denim and stuff like that. And I had this like shirt that I had made as like my kind of like demo piece, if you will. So I don't know, I rocked it in here one day all nervous and shit, was like, hey, look at this thing I made. You guys like this? Like, and you guys, like, you know.
It was like a snake, like.
Yeah, there's like this like snake across the front and like a spider on the back and shit. And I look at the lines on it now, I'm like, oh, what were you doing? But it's obviously just learning and everything.
Totally.
But hell yeah.
Sorry.
No, get the Weller out too.
He'll take a drink for sure. Appreciate you asking, but you don't even need to ask this guy, man. There it is. Much appreciated.
That's our man Brian up in the house, man. Shout out Jack.
Hell yeah.
It's the
guy's a homie
it's
looking
the
out
GM
right
in him,
now.
right?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
bartender in him. It's the
Holy
hospitality
man.
in him. He's just like, that man needs a drink.
I feel
Yeah.
so taken care of.
Empty
I'm
glass,
so
what do I do?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Pardon me, man. I don't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt like this. I know
The
this is a
homies.
theme, man.
There's gonna be a lot of interruptions today, I think.
Sorry,
anyways,
man.
but
Don't
hit us
sweat
up.
it.
Keep going, man.
Yeah, so I don't even know where I was. But long story short, I mean, or long or whatever, you guys were basically like pushed me like, hey, you should actually do more of this. Like, pick whatever you want off the wall, take it home, and just like turn it into something cool.
We saw the potential and the talent. And we were just like, yo, like this guy, just give him a canvas and let him work, right? That's all we all need sometimes. The artist in us just needs
So
a
he
canvas.
came back with a banger. Yeah.
A
So
heater.
and that became the Loverboy jacket. And
Yeah, totally.
That's when you basically were having that conversation with us. You know, coincided with the time where you were doing the collab with us. But you're like, hey guys, like, you know, there was this march going on. I had a conversation with a friend. Like, I didn't actually know what the right move was, or I want to do more. You know, so
Yeah, totally.
that was like, I mean, and that meant a lot to us. That you're like, hey, like, you know, asking us, like, we're new to town and we kind of just met, and you're just saying like, hey, like, I want to do a little more, you know, what, you know, so
more.
Well, I'm just some white dude raised in Kelowna and in BC and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough for me to even have like a perspective on that to some degree. So having met you guys and seeing like the passion that you had about what was going on, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it came up like pretty naturally in the sense of like, all right, like there's this, you know, like you said, there's a march going on, and it was even like kind of community divided that way as to like who was actually organizing it and what the intentions and everything was. And yeah, it just kind of, I don't know, I had a buddy call me out on it too. He's like, yo, I didn't see you with the rally. Like, what the hell, man? And it was this kind of crazy thing. I was like, shit, am I blowing it right now? Like, am I totally fucking up? Because
we weren't at the rally.
I would like, yeah, exactly. And I was like, hey, what do you guys feel about this? You know, like, give me some, like, help me with some perspective here to like, what do we do to be better and to actually contribute?
Totally.
And it's around the time you guys were doing the socks and stuff. So I was like, can I piggyback on that shit and just like, you know, donate the proceeds from this piece that we just collaborated on together to the same charity.
Yeah. Did. So like in a literally a moment's notice, like and a quick sale, and Baylan donated hundreds of dollars to the same charity we were doing. You know, like just by
instead of taking
having,
a profit at fucking pandemic time when he ain't working.
We all needed the money.
Yeah, he could have. I'm sure he needed that money too, but like, what did he do? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day,
that was respect. So just like to set the record straight, Baylan's not just some white guy from Kelowna.
Yeah,
he's a dope ass man, and we respect him.
Yeah. And hang on, I got a question for you. Ooh. So then, after you did that, did you
What's
end
your
up?
favorite color?
Yeah,
or sorry,
better be black. Better be black. Yeah. No. My question is gonna be. Did you end up talking to that homie after you ended up donating? Did you say anything to him, or did you just keep it quiet and just know that for yourself?
No, I didn't. Actually, now that you bring it up, I didn't even think to be honest. Like, it's just not a conversation we ended up having, right?
Yeah. That's.
But it wasn't for me either at the same time, right? It was like, because it was
True.
that shit was
Well
bigger
said.
than me. It was kind of like, how do I make this not about me in that sense, right? Like, I didn't, you know, go, like you said, like, no social media clout having over it or anything. It was just like this thing I did.
You didn't
and just
post
kinda,
it after as soon as you did it or anything?
I think I shared the post that you guys put up about it, but like that's about it. You
I was
know?
being
I didn't.
facetious, sorry, dude. No,
My bad. Sorry, it's my first time.
That's the word for it. Yeah.
God, it really is hot up here.
And I mean, and that's, you know, and again, how we were talking about just like diversity and how to show up in that world and that responsibility. Like, you know, there's something to be said that everyone has a different way of showing up. Everyone has different expressions, and we're just talking about our own and how we do it. And we're talking about you wanting to, you know, learn and educate yourself. You know, like, but for, you know, it's everyone shows up differently, and it's okay that if your personality, if who you are, is not a kind of guy that even like goes to concerts or festivals, or the kind of girl that goes to like, you know, big hockey games and stuff. Like maybe some people just don't like crowds, so it's like you can't
Maybe you're a
Force-
pandemic and
you
you
can't
have
for- and
maybe
it's a pandemic,
like
but
you're,
okay,
yeah, I mean,
maybe
it
you've had
shows up
pneumonia
what you
growing up and
guys
you're
have.
scared to catch
You
pneumonia.
can't ask
I
people
don't
to
know.
show up
Yeah.
in the same way you do because that's already a little bit ignorant. You
Yeah,
know what I
right
mean?
there.
It's
Yeah.
everyone has to decide for themselves what's right, who you are,
Yeah.
how that falls in line with your true self. And so, there's no right, there's right and there's wrong, but there's no right way to show up.
There's no right
in
way
how you
to
express yourself in
Yeah.
these matters,
If you feel right and you're doing right, there's no one to say that doing right is
Yeah.
only this
The
way.
only thing that's wrong is saying Black lives don't matter.
Yeah. That's what's wrong, man. Nah, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
So that's what's up.
You know what? That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
Because Baylan,
Yeah.
speaking of Baylan sitting right here, not just some white Kelowna guy. He's actually a jack of all trades. Man, he plays music before I met him. Now he's a Denim Scratcher.
Holy
but
fuck.
he's also
White
bartending for us
Kelowna
tonight.
Renaissance man.
He's
though?
bartending for us tonight. Where are you
Holy
bartending right now,
shit,
homie?
Man, you do it all.
Where are you bartending
I bartended at Central.
Central
Kitchen and Bar.
Central Kitchen and Bar.
And
so
shout out Central for
so
hooking
shout
up
out
the
to
food.
Central Kitchen
Yeah.
and Bar because we got some pizzas from them.
Yeah, crush
So
those pies.
Maybe we'll talk about those. Actually, they're just
They're
delicious.
great, and they soaked up the
perfect,
booze we're about to drink. Man,
Yeah.
that's
they're
what we're
dope.
worried about.
Try them out. They
know
got
what?
a good scene there. They got a good vibe there. Baylan's bartending there, so it's
Yeah.
obviously a good place
You're
to
in
go.
Kelowna, you go check them out,
Go
and man,
check
take
'em out.
care of you,
And
man.
I think next up, he's gonna make us some drinks, and we're gonna keep this.
and we're gonna
flowing.
drink them. Let's do it.
I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
All right.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Okay, so we got some Havana 3 years,
Yeah.
some Luxardo Maraschino, got some grapefruit, we got some fucking pineapple juice up in here.
Okay, so a little tropical Hemingway
we're
daiquiri.
getting super tropical out here. Some
into it,
fresh
man.
limes. And then do this for the boys, some party juice up in here.
That's dope.
Couple snackeries.
I heard you guys have been doing some
Snackeries.
feature cocktails at Central.
Hell yeah, every week we're running a feature cocktail right now, so
That's
run
tight.
down to the bar, check that shit out,
I'm
because
gonna
it is
run
worth your
down to that
time.
bar, man.
Oh yeah.
I heard their brunch program.
And nothing like the fresh squeeze.
Dude.
Yeah,
it's
the
OG,
brunches there
man.
are fucking epic. That's actually how I started going there, even before I started bartending there. I just kind of hung out there and went for brunch with the boys on every Sundays, just after biking around.
Love it.
It's like a nice little
OG
patio
lime squeeze,
spot,
man.
you
I'm
know?
into it.
Totally. Have we got what, 2 in each of these, right?
I think a couple in each.
I think so.
Yeah, we'll do that. Then we'll do
Oh
another
yeah,
round
give this
after.
one a little extra love. I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shake up some cocktails,
Hope
man.
so.
Can I
Fuck.
help you with this?
Hell yeah. Get in there, show me up, dude.
No, bro.
Oh, he still got it. He still got it.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Put a couple of these bad boys up in here. Shout out to Garnish Barware for these dope ass fucking custom shakers.
Hell yeah.
All right. A little Hawthorne up in here.
Okay, you said we're doing 2 in each?
Yeah, I think so.
100
Should be
deep.
about that.
I'm feeling it.
Zero waste Paulie.
Tell Paul we're gonna find dining establishment.
I know, hey. All style, all class, a lot of passion, a lot of focus.
One-handed.
Always, man.
Gotta have a free hand.
We had that conversation.
Yeah, we
right?
did have
Always-
that conversation the other day.
Always have a free hand any chance you can get as a bartender.
Yeah, because you never know when you're gonna drop something.
Cat-like reflexes, right?
Yeah,
Gotta
pretty
be ready
much.
for it.
For your feet, man.
Absolutely.
Not too.
Keeping one free hand free to salute? Is that what you said? Because you're a fucking military man now. Look at that flight suit, dude.
Iceman.
You're not Goose? Heavy crumpling. Okay, sweet.
These
There
look
we
awesome,
go.
man.
That's the move.
Here, I'll take them. You finish these ones. I'll pass them to the homies.
Yo, man, it was super dope having Baylan, one of our day ones for sure, having him up on 7. That's
So nice. Yeah. Great chatting. Great
Probably
talks.
get him back in here. We got some more shit.
Plus these drinks. You get a sip of that.
Fuck, man. I'm not enough sips of that.
Yeah.
Good, bud.
Oh, good.
Like I just got into 7, dog. I'm so sorry, man.
Oh my god. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Appreciate you, homie.
You fucking
I feel like
yummy.
yeah. I feel like I'm in tropical paradise with these bad boys.
What's like?
Go to Mexico.
Is there any booze in that? Is there any booze in those? Just a touch?
Just
Yeah.
enough, huh? Just enough to keep the shades on, baby.
Good enough.
Okay, let's do this.
Just enough to keep those shades
You know what it
on.
is.
Just casually slips that in, hey?
No, it's over now. So basically, I guess there was 2 things before. I wanted to talk about day ones, but all of a sudden I just had this thought jump in my head, dog. I just
Okay,
wanted this.
okay.
And I was like this.
That can happen.
It can
Around
happen,
here.
man. It does.
Thought every once in a while comes through
Creativity,
this
man.
space.
Yeah. Tapping the creative, bro.
Here and there.
And so, yeah, once in a while. So I'm sitting
16,
there, I'm
15
thinking,
pound dozy straight. I can find us
Come see it,
anytime.
baby.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
Thoughts. All the time.
Deep thoughts.
Yeah. All
So,
around.
deep thought
What's
number
your
1
thought?
was
Yeah.
like this. I was like, man, people have personal chefs at home. And I seen him cooking up these cocktails over there.
Cooking
in my
them
head.
up, yeah.
And like and I started thinking, I'm like this. Wow, Paulie's like, man, we should always have a bartender on. And I'll go like this. Ding, ding, ding. I'm like, do people have personal bartenders at their house? People that just stay there and make them drinks all the time? I was like, wow.
Dude, why are you giving up all these good ideas on
Because
podcasts?
I want to hire one, bro. Is that this?
Well, you want to start a business?
Okay, well,
like personal,
now,
personal
if
bartender
this shit
stuff.
ain't going down enough, forget I said it. Strike it from the records. Dude, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Send you my
Brian
drinks
Baylan,
off.
is there a business
thing?
plan in
Do
that?
you know about like
I've
personal
never
bartenders?
heard of it.
Yeah,
I don't
like
think I'm
personal
rich
chefs,
enough for
right?
that shit.
Personal chefs, like for like homes, like get paid a lot.
Tell me,
of
what
money,
rich
you know,
people
like-
love to have this shit all the time, like yummy ass drinks made for them.
But you're talking about personal chefs, like you're talking about people that
cook.
they make them food every day.
Yeah.
So you're talking about people that just need to be drinking every day. Like it's like lunchtime, breakfast, dinner. It's like you're my professional cocktail. I need
If Snoop's got a professional blunt roller, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's people that
I need
want a
mimosas in
professional
the
bartender.
morning. I need
Buddy, that's
margaritas.
exactly
No,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Ryan gets it, man.
Oh, I get it. I'm just saying you have to be a
I'm in.
full-time drinker.
Started,
Yeah. So
seriously.
you got to be a full-time drinker. It's a niche market.
I'm not here judging people's lifestyles.
No,
I'm just
no,
here trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
support.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're not looking for the average
I don't-
drinker here
yeah,
because
I
you
don't
just
care.
you go to a bar or hire
Dude,
an event bartender.
I'm not advocating for no one's liver or none. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm just thinking about
We're
business.
talking
Like,
about-
yo, you know what? Let's just bring in the next day oneers. Right?
Yeah, I think that's some. That's just a business plan. We're gonna have to have more.
Yeah,
notes
they don't.
on that,
Y'all
a couple more
don't think
meetings
about
to
that no more.
Anyways,
We'll let
yeah.
you know when that's
Can we
popping.
take that? Can we scratch that out of the? We don't edit shit out.
Edit it, but don't
always-
edit it.
We always say like, can we just edit that out? And
Yeah.
Jordan, he never
No.
edits anything out. He's all in.
Our man powers.
Yeah.
You want to bring? So we're gonna bring in. We got man.
I think we got a few homies.
Can we bring in Jay?
I think James, just because we were talking about the wine and they said, James, are you down to hang out?
Absolutely.
Yo.
We got James.
Yo,
Can
we-
we
we-
get up for James. That's nice, hey?
Feels good.
No.
Popular.
Wow.
You want to bring it out and then they can take us off. You know what?
And
You know what? I call Brian down to the hot seat. There's another hot seat right there.
let's get Brian too.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
get some Brian. Hey, let's go,
This whole-
man. Day
this
oneers,
is
man. There's some
fun.
day oneers. If we had a bigger couch, we'd have everybody in here right now, but we got going shifts.
Can we,
you know what I
from
mean?
now on though, like in the next podcast, like so when we come out, can everyone clap too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like
That feels
that.
good. Like I feel like no one's ever
I know,
clapped for me. Actually, we were sitting down like, hey, welcome.
Dude,
back.
I was living vicariously through them.
I was like,
this
this is
feels
nice.
like
I was like, I'm
audience
so
clapping.
excited.
Yeah, that's
James
just crazy.
too. You know, we start our pod. We're like, welcome to episode.
People,
4, you know?
people, you want to cheers?
Hey, cheers, welcome.
And
It's like,
everyone goes,
I want
hey!
like the hype crowd,
Yeah,
man. You know, like
fuck.
again, speaking of Ellen DeGeneres, when she comes out,
Everyone cheers. But she also
Living it up.
dances.
Oh,
I ain't doing no fucking that.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna
That's
go.
the Windmills, baby.
Yeah.
Only when Windmills is playing. Dude.
I know. I think we caught him last time doing a couple little.
Yeah, we got
you
some
know,
of those.
Yeah. No, this podcast's free to watch, so you ain't gonna get me dancing,
That
man.
should be pay-per-view,
That
though.
shit costs money.
Should be pay-per-view.
All right, this can get.
OnlyFans. Paulie's got OnlyFans. He just dances on that shit, dog. It's
I
wild.
don't have an OnlyFans. I have plenty of fans.
You're killing me already, man.
One OnlyFan, this guy.
He has OnlyFans.
I think it's not. I think that's a joke.
Yeah, man. Keep that shit plural. All right.
James
Plenty
Addington.
of fans.
Hey guys, what's going
James,
on?
nice to have you.
Yeah,
man.
nice to-
Thanks
yeah.
for
Thanks
joining
for
us,
being us.
brother. Yeah.
Nice to have. Yeah,
Oh,
thank
man.
you.
Straight, when you talk about day ones,
We're talking about day ones. That's gonna be a recurring theme, I think,
Yeah,
for
tonight.
tonight.
That's who joined us tonight,
Yeah,
man.
joining us tonight is day one.
this is like the team, man.
When we
These are
say
people.
day one, I mean
Yeah.
we're talking about people
know.
who came in January when we didn't even like say that we were open. You know, this time last year.
We almost didn't have business being open yet.
Yeah. So when this episode gets released, it'll be our 1 year anniversary of our grand opening. Yeah. And so we have day oneers from them. Yeah. You know, that we like met that day. We have people that like came in the shop prior, was like, hey, I heard you guys what you were doing. We had some homies that were like, you know, already on board with it. And we had people that we met along the way, you know. But these are all day oneers in our minds because they've really like stood true to the test of time, even in this past year.
Held us down, man. There's time like when we were just building up, and we still are, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But like straight up, when we barely had enough to say we were a store, they were still here popping some bottles, having fun, fucking supporting us.
And both of these homies are exactly that. But starting with James, like,
tell us a little bit, man. Introduce us. Tell us about James Addington.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna give you guys some love, obviously off the top, because the most modest and humble dudes I know, and you know, I met
this guy.
Both of you, yeah. You play a big part, but you play your position, and position is humble.
Thank you.
You know, I met Paulie first years ago in a roundabout way, and then our worlds collided again. And when I heard about your business, I came in here my first day, and I remember just giving some love to Paul and meeting Sean the first day, and you guys made me feel like $1 million. I was the only dude in the store. That's how you're operating COVID times, and you know, you outfitted me from top to bottom. And
look at you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I got my green pants on from Levi's, special order, my jacket. You know, I love and respect you both and what you do, and it's more mutual, than denim. It's respect. It's more than the attire. It's the culture that you feel, and when you come in here and you feel a part of a family and a group of individuals, like. Yeah, like we represent your brand outside, and
we try to represent you guys here.
And you do, and my picture's hanging on the wall from when I presented it to you, and we could all have glasses on and cry from now, but I'll stop there. But you know, it's
like house shades.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
like
Sean wears it for cool factor. He's crying.
He's get a little too emotional.
You don't know if it's a cool factor, for cry factor, for drunk factor, for I had a fucked up night last night factor. I don't, you know, just
hashtag Kleenex. We'll put them on the box for next episode.
Totally, man.
But it's much respect back to you guys too in this whole process for sure.
Oh man,
appreciate you, brother.
For sure.
Yo, man.
So what do we want to talk about today?
Well, before we get over to Brian, because we got hella day ones here, but we want to know, because straight up, you're always moving on something, bro. And I mean, not only do you got a bottle, every time you know James. This is our man Brian here. We'll let him introduce himself in a second. I ain't trying to take James.
James shows up with a bottle of wine, and he just knows.
And there's a story.
He knows every single time James rolls up to the bar, he fucking whips out his computer, like multiple notepads and shit. He's like, "I'll grab a beer," and just like
puts in that work
for like nobody.
He locks in.
It's
always doing.
He locks in, so that means he's working on something.
I
want to know. What is James?
He knows more about wine than anyone.
I want to know all the secrets.
Okanagan Valley that I know. Yeah.
Well, I'll keep it short and sweet, and I appreciate the love and the praise. I am working on something.
Keep it long and sweet.
You know, and thank you, Paulie. Yeah, right there, long and sweet.
It's like my cocktails, baby.
Yeah. Same page on.
Shout out Baylan.
Long and sweet, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we started talking. My world changed when COVID changed a little later than most. Yep. So I was able to take that time while a lot of people's lives were changing to finish some work on myself. And when I finished that work on myself, I knew that where I positioned myself was to be able to affect some change in others and be there to support our community and mostly our people. And I talked to somebody today about it actually, and they said, what do you think the biggest change in business in Kelowna was? And I said, businesses are struggling, no doubt, support local, everything, but the biggest effect has been on the people. And what that has brought forth in our community has brought segregation, it's brought some silos, and then it's brought a little bit of love. And now as the months have gone on and our town has battled through that, the love is coming back to community, and it's really cool to see that.
You're right.
And really see that people are now going back to that collaboration. Mm-hmm. So that's the word for me. I love to collaborate. It's how can I simultaneously prosper other businesses together for my success and their success. And when you take it down and break it down even more, it's not success, it's just for the betterment and the life and the hustle. And so I built my businesses around that, and to showcase people that have been doing such great things for years, and find out different avenues to bring people that may not know it, local or visitors when they can, to see that piece.
So
and
you started your own business a few months ago, and again, how you were saying, like with the climate today, like you actually had to put a huge halt and pause on that business. So it's just really cool to see that that's back to life. I mean, I know that's like pretty recent, but you've actually like relaunched and you found a few different avenues on how to actually make that work for you. But it's just cool because we kind of like, I mean, you come in once a week, once every couple of weeks, and we have like pretty good chats always.
On these same couches, babe.
On these same
for sure.
couches, you
These
know?
same cups, babe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's cool to kind of go through that journey with you where, you know, like big retreat where you kind of like had your mind blown and you had these great ideas to like, I'm doing it, I'm scared, and it's going to be awesome. And then, you know, like the vision and then the halt and the pause, and then now persevering and keeping on, you know, that vision. And I mean, there's something to be said about that, man, because not everyone can kind of like keep on that like hustle and keep on that like a lot. Like, man, and myself in many points in my life, like I've given up throughout that journey. How many times when it's like, man, I tried, I did not succeed, you know.
Dude,
and
you
like,
ain't giving up yet. You keep
well,
standing.
no, we're
Man,
still
you got
going,
back
right?
on,
You know,
man.
exactly.
I'm
And I'm blessed, and we're
Come on.
blessed right now to go through it.
Fighting, let's go.
Yeah, we're still fighting, but we're blessed to be where we're at, you know. And I mean, that hasn't always been the case, and shit, it's tougher for anyone than ever right now. But man, just so respect, kudos to you. I'm so happy to hear that you relaunched. And
and it's going good. And I think I want to kind of take that and pull it back, if I may, before we move to Bride.
Please do.
Just on that values and what you spoke on earlier. I think values were a big piece of that. There's no doubt I had a summer of James. It was amazing. I was out on the boat. I was enjoying Kelowna living, and
the summer of James,
and what it
man.
was, and it was cool. And I
Baylan's
needed
next
that.
album.
But those things bring values, and values are based on
How many days on the water? Just real quick.
50 days on the water.
50 days on a
50
boat
days
in the
on
water. So you definitely had a summer of James.
Dude, I don't think
Yeah.
I've had that many days on the water my whole life.
Never.
Yeah.
No.
Like my whole life.
No chance.
And that was kind
not
of
taking ice
from
dips?
working in hospitality. You don't have those
Never.
summers. You don't have those times.
Yeah.
You do those things. So those values change. And to go back to talking about the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of business. And
I can
what it
swim
is.
for the record, man. On Black History Month. Not all black. Buddy, I can swim like a dolphin, bro. Keep going.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Those ebbs and flows in that business, it's really finding yourself in that journey, and continued to do so. Tried some things, bring them to life, shot back down, bring them to life. Different things happened, and there were some dark days. There's no question. I'm the first guy. I think if I stay true to myself, I'm an advocate for mental health and what that means in our community and myself personally. And it was fucking hard.
Which is dope.
But I was surrounded by great people that you found those that you could rely on and have those conversations. And conscious conversations. And everything you're doing today, this shit's real. Like, there's the joke, there's the side batter, there's all this stuff going on, but we're talking about real shit in a way that needs to be approached. And when you start to talk about people's values, you're going to hit them deep. So if you say something they don't agree with, their reaction is going to be so different than you've ever seen before in this time,
Dude,
because that's based on years.
You
You
can't
know,
shake someone's pillars, fuck with the
Exactly.
whole foundation, and then expect them not to be some type of bother.
And it's cool that you say that you've been surrounded by so many good people that have really like gotten you through this, and that because I think so many people think the same of you, like it goes like from everyone that I know that knows you speaks volumes about you. So to say like that you look at it that way, that like I've been surrounding myself by so many people that have really been bringing me up.
It's a two-way street.
To me, I'm like, man, James is that guy. Like he's the guy.
That hub,
He's that hub,
Yeah,
right?
hub,
Like he's the
though.
guy that brings up. There's a common like theory in economics where they say like you're the average of your income and salary is the average of the 10 people that you're surrounded by on a regular basis.
Dropping signs,
And if you look at that and you become, usually if you look at, like, they did a study on it, I mean, I have to look at it, I haven't seen that in a long time, but I know that's a thing, and you become that.
Drop a gem on me.
You become,
I'm with you.
your income, your salary is
Hang on, rewind
that
that one
average.
back, man.
So it's basically the closest 10 people you surround yourself around.
Yep.
You take all their salaries, average it out, and your salary is generally pretty close
Man, I'm
to
gonna
that
start
middle.
looking at my friends
So
right quick,
when
man.
you
Everyone's
took-
under scrutiny,
so that's
bro.
something, and look that up, and I mean, I need to do that, and Jordan, maybe we'll fact check that. I don't know if we can trust you on the fact check, but
Pop-up video. Pop-up video. This is completely incorrect.
but
it sounds great.
But so I hope I'm really right in this, but I'm pretty sure I am.
Pretty sure you are.
Yeah. But in saying that, the same
sure,
thing can, and in my mind, should translate to values and what you believe in. So what you, and I mean, that's also kind of a common theory and knowledge of, like, who you surround yourself around and your environment becomes you a little bit. So if you're talking about, like, all these people that bring you up or bring you down, whatever the case is, or you share common values, you become, like, that common denominator, that middle ground of it. So it's cool, and it's awesome that you brought that up, because I really believe in that, you know, that we're all bringing each other up or we're all bringing each other down. And it depends completely on who you surround yourself around.
Dude, I'm gonna interject.
Hit it up. That was my thought.
He just dropped gospel and gems, and like, what I was gonna say is, what you said was just like,
Preaching out here.
but you are, dog, and I'm like, hallelujah, you know, like, hallelujah, dog. And like I say, one of the people that you talk about is that's our man Brian, man.
man
We talk
Brian.
about people that we surround ourselves
Talking
with
about day oneers
to help
and
bring
people
us
that are
up, man.
inspiring and,
I'm
like-
gonna tell you, this dude right here. This dude is that dude, man. On top of that, he's that dude plus MacGyver. This dude goes to his truck. And grabs like a rubber band and a paper clip and fixes the shop.
We're like, man, this thing's a little wobbly. He'll be like, I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
What do you mean you'll be right
I'm
back?
like,
Where you going?
what the fuck is bubble gum gonna help the
Show-
computer?
shows
He's like,
up
don't
with
worry, I
his
got it. And I'm
toolbox
sitting
and,
there, I'm
like,
like, what the fuck is this dude doing?
He's made the shop better.
Yeah. Like,
by a long shot.
Like, you
from
know,
all
every
things
tool.
he's
Like,
done.
this guy's like son in me. He's like, yo, every dad should give their son this tool.
And all
I'm
black
sitting there, I'm like,
all
what is
black
that?
everything
I'm
as well.
like, what the fuck is that
Can we
tool?
acknowledge all black everything? I mean,
Black History Month, baby. Let's go.
hell yeah, we
Yeah.
acknowledge it,
That's
yeah.
our man. This our man Brian,
So
man.
to introduce Brian
Yeah,
again,
that's our
thanks for
man,
hitting it,
Brian,
Brian.
man. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah. We need powers over here. Yeah.
Windmills is on it.
Wow, that's a friend there.
Look at that.
That's day one's helping day ones. Oh,
And he just
my
has a
God,
drink
man.
in his
That's
hand again.
Did y'all witness that? That's
This
a
is the
beautiful
best
thing.
podcast
This
ever.
is why you should have a personal bartender
Yes.
at home, man.
Pouring your
Can
drink.
we do this every other day?
Can we do it every day?
Check your balance, bro.
I need a recovery.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Brian, happy to have you. Happy to have you on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
man.
I'm happy
Thanks-
to be
thanks
here.
for coming
I'm
out.
stoked.
Pleasure to have you here, man. Seriously,
On the
you're always-
couches,
Dude,
finally.
you're always behind the scenes or on some part. helping
You're always
out
on the
someone.
couches. You're
Always
just,
on the
you're
couches.
just- you're just on the camera.
Now we got the camera on you.
Yeah, I love it.
So how about this? We're just gonna get out the way. I want you to introduce yourself,
Yeah.
and then we'll start shooting some shit and bantering.
Okay. Introduce myself. My name's Brian. Regular here. Love being here. Most people know me as the GM of Jack's Pizza and Liquor.
Hell yeah.
I
Shout
try.
out Jax.
Yeah. I mean that is kind of my like claim to fame.
There it is.
Yeah, how's it go?
How about Paul? Why don't you
you
try
say
to make
that?
that
Paul,
sound?
let's
Last
say the
episode,
GM
I noticed you were the only one who didn't make the
GM
sound.
of Salt and Brick or
Why don't you
Jax?
make the sound,
Jax.
Paul?
Of Jax?
Yeah.
He wants to hear you do it.
I want to hear you do it.
That's
I
just,
want to hear.
I would hear you just said it, dog.
yeah. Are we doing another break?
This is Brian.
What's our timeline? What's our timeline? 10 whole minutes?
Paul- Paul's not gonna do it. Back to it, man.
I'm showing ice though.
Yeah, it's chewing nice. But
This guy.
GM of Jax.
GM and Jack's.
But you've been around for a few years.
Yep.
Yep.
Not like I've been around for a few years. In Kelowna, I've been around. Most people know me as the GM of
I'm sure
Jack's.
you've been alive for a few years. You've been around for a few years.
I've been around for a couple of years.
I wasn't born yesterday.
Yeah.
10 years ago. You know what I mean?
No.
Other than that, man, like I don't know how to introduce myself really.
Well, we met each other a few years ago. I mean, I think like maybe a year before probably Grey Hearts was a thing.
Yep.
So immediately like great chemistry, good connection. We actually found out we had mutual friends. Tanya knew you from
Definitely, we've had a pass for about like
little
8-9
while.
years.
Totally, yeah. Tanya and him knew each other like for 7 years before I ever met Brian.
Yeah.
Back in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So we found that out like a couple visits in.
And talking about platforms, like I knew about Paul. I never met Paul, but I knew about Paul for about 6, 7 years.
Paul's a socialite. A lot of people know
7
about
years?
Paul
I didn't
before
know
they
that.
meet him.
Yeah, he was been together
Just
for
the
what,
way
like
it
8?
goes,
Yeah,
man.
fair
Like,
enough.
yeah.
Okay.
Quiet socialite.
all the time I'm with Paul. I've heard of you, never met you. Anyways, keep going.
But we had a common
cool,
interest in
socialite,
in bartending, so it was pretty quickly that we were just kind of bantering back and forth and kind of going at it. So it was even cool to know you, like because we were both pretty new to Kelowna at that point. So
Yeah.
I think it was fun to kind of like.
Where'd you come from before Kelowna?
Kits, so Vancouver.
He's a
Oh,
Vancouver.
you're a
He's a
Kits boy.
Vancouver.
I'm a
Kits
home,
boy, man.
Kids boy,
Kids
yeah.
boy, huh?
K-I-T-S-I-L-A-N-O. Let's go.
Yes,
let's
baby.
go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
No, we call that
Okay.
Kids Alano, baby. You know what
I
that
thought you
is.
said you're from kids.
You
You
know
didn't say
what that
shit
is.
about being a cheerleader. bro.
I was.
Cheerleader. Yeah.
You're a cheerleader?
No.
Oh, man.
Well, with that, what was it again? Can you do it while everyone's quiet?
K-I-T-S-I-L-A-N-O. Let's go.
There you go.
You were a cheerleader.
Yeah, you're a cheerleader. Yeah. So, like I said,
We
yeah.
had a school song.
Yeah,
right?
you had a school.
Oh,
So
so
everyone's
you
gonna
got school out there and everything. You grew up out there?
Dude, he's like one of
Where
like.
were you born?
Third generation.
Vancouver.
Shit, you're one of
Kids.
the few people who are actually born
Dude,
in
he's
Vancouver.
one of 8 people that were born in Vancouver.
One
man.
of
He's
8,
like
dog.
actually
That's
from
like
Vancouver.
12.
Is that another quote? Like, yeah. Facts, buddy. You're
Facts,
having
yeah,
facts.
check that out, man. Yeah. How many people
Powers,
figured that
Powers,
out?
can you fact check that? He's 12% of the people born in Vancouver?
There's only 6 people actually.
Oh, there's only 6. Yeah.
One of 6.
Yeah.
Okay, my math ain't
Yeah.
that good. now.
How many people do you know that are from Vancouver?
Him.
Brian. Yeah.
I just met one.
I'm third generation Vancouver.
Holy fuck,
There you
there's
go.
2 more?
There's a couple more.
My dad, my grandpa's. Yeah.
No, that's tight. That's dope. But so yeah, we've been here for a few years.
Drink one of your fucking drinks, man.
You drink. What's your
He's
drink?
forcing you to drink. Yeah.
Paul, I apologize. I can't look at that drink no more. It's melting.
He's like, that's been watered down, man. Let's
Where's his drink though?
It's off camera.
supervising on patrol. Okay, dope. So past that, like you've been supporting us honestly since day one. So
Yep.
we appreciate your love and support, man. Like it's been
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
to see you come through
I
here.
appreciate you guys though.
Oh man.
That's the big thing. Is like James said, it's a community hub that you guys have created and you've facilitated. Like the big thing is that you come in here. It's a creative space. It's also it's a humbling space, and it's also just it's a space of kind of free speech and free opinion. And I think it's a positive thing, especially being like a men's clothing and lifestyle store.
Yeah.
There's that like whole thing about toxic masculinity, and that it's still around, it's still apparent, and to be able to come into a space and just be able to freely talk about emotion, freely talk about ideas, concepts, opinions.
I appreciate you bringing that up.
And
man.
be and be with like-minded individuals that will either give you direct feedback or support what you're feeling. I think that's a really healthy environment. Like it's more like what you guys have created is more than just a clothing and lifestyle store. Like there's a lot about the culture that you guys have created, and I think the two of you facilitate that, and the people that you surround yourself with, talking about community, talking about culture, talking about the sense of what Kelowna's doing. You guys are kind of that hub of, I guess, a certain emotion, certain feeling, and I think that's important. And especially as men, like we're looked at to be these stoic figures, and I think that's shifting. And to be able to and be in a safe space, to be able to be here and just talk about our emotions and talk about our feelings, and just let things out and
Yep.
talk about business and talk about marketing ideas and talk about Black Lives Matter and talk about
Relationships.
sports and talk
Yeah.
about relationships.
like-
The shit that's in your heart and in your head.
Yeah.
mental
Yeah, yeah.
health, which is something
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
big on,
Definitely.
and I mean, I appreciate you saying that because I think that is part of that hub and community and culture that you're trying to talk about. Like, it wasn't just a clothing store that we were trying to open; that was a component of it. But there's
you,
a
Paulie.
reason.
Thank
There's
you
a
for saying
reason
that.
we have a living room within the shop.
Yeah.
There's a reason we have a studio and workshop. We wanted it to be very fluctuating and flexible and adaptable to whatever it needed to be, from a day-to-day basis. It could be like one day maybe it's just us hanging out here and having conversation, and someone walks in the door and they want to shop. Like we allow that, but this doesn't stop, like this doesn't, so it's just nice to be able to facilitate it. And it's, I mean, again, so much appreciation for you guys to recognize that and be a part of what it's kind of becoming.
Dude, that means the world,
It's
man.
special to us because
We're proud to be a part of
No,
it.
no, honestly, and the thing is, like, something that we feel real strongly about, like, we wouldn't be what we are without the vibes and the energy that you guys bring here.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, it gets, how would I say, it almost gets impressed into the location, into the structure, into the vibe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you guys leave a vibe here and an energy.
It stays
and
here.
it carries on the
Yeah,
next day, and we build on it.
Yeah.
You
And
know what I mean?
And I don't think this is just something that like Kelowna needed. Like Kelowna maybe needed
Definitely needed
something,
Yeah,
you know,
they
like
definitely
in terms of
needed it.
yeah. But
We
I
definitely-
but I think this is something that society.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that our
Yo,
culture
like
needs.
this
Like,
shit
just,
we
like,
planned.
definitely.
No, Paulie and I planned this shit. This wasn't just for Kelowna. Like this business plan, if we're gonna take a little detour, we planned this so you could plug and play this shit in a lot of cities.
It hasn't been
Yeah,
accidental.
like you take this to Vancouver, cool. Like we'll go stand alone over there and measure us against the shops over there, cool. Kelowna, cool. Like you name it, you know what I mean? Toronto, cool. Like because we're doing something. It wasn't. It's weird because the best way to represent Kelowna was almost doing something that was so beyond just
Pretty
being
left field.
Yeah, being how would I say it? Almost restricted by what's currently here.
It needed a shakeup.
It had to be something that was outside the box.
And like the closest thing that I can think of in like that terms of a physical space is very like barbershop-esque.
Yes,
And like with the whole like I mean
Nice.
it's
Yeah.
kind of
It's like
pretty cool
clothing
that
meets
this-
barbershop.
It's pretty cool. That this used to be a barbershop.
It used to be a
It used
barbershop.
to be. Shout out
Like-
man-made.
Shout out
Shout out
Man-Made.
man-made.
But
Yeah.
I
For
think
sure.
I think it's more like I think it's like a barbershop has that sense of masculinity in it like throughout. And like not saying this store doesn't, but it's also it's kind of like that new school, that new age masculinity in the sense of like we take a serious approach to fashion, we take a serious approach to styling,
Yeah.
we take a serious approach to I guess like self etiquette
Yeah.
and like
also
how you
accepting
hold yourself.
femininity too.
Yeah.
And I think that's the new stage to masculinity is also being, hey, we accept all.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the thing about like I always found barbershops are very nothing against barbershops, but they're very classic. They're very that's a very masculine place, and I feel like this is a masculine place, but it's also a very accepting space, and I think that's a big part of what you guys have built, and you know the day ones have also assisted
Oh,
building.
buddy,
I
this
was-
wouldn't have been built without the day
Yeah.
oneers.
I say things like, you know, in terms of characteristics and attributes that haven't been generally, as you're kind of touching on, been associated with an alpha male kind of thing, like sensitivity and like opening up and, you know, getting a little teary-eyed and really taking a compliment to heart and, you know, giving hugs, maybe not this year, but, you know, just like being sensitive, you know, hasn't always been okay.
It's okay
you
to
know?
be human.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
shit, like we're down to have a real conversation, and we're cool with like the energy to get a little heavy, you know, and it's all good. So I appreciate you kind of bringing that up because like that's something that has been true to us. And
We've been really conscious about trying to be.
before we even started this, like I mean, you and I had some pretty big, serious conversations of like what we wanted this to be, and it wasn't just like this like fun rainbow business plan. It was like
Wasn't just
it was
dress and
it was our life and our passions, and you know like it was fiery and it was, you know, like let's get it on paper and like all this like it was big, and like I think that momentum has never really left, and we never really want to lose that part
and
of it.
if we lose it, that's when we're fucked.
Let us know.
That's when we're fucked, man. We can't lose
Yeah.
that shit. That's the They say, you know, that's the girl you brought to the dance. You know what I mean? That's the lady we brought to the dance.
the person you brought to the dance.
Well, in our case, our case is the ladies.
except we all,
I got a lady, and he's got a lady. So
got a
these are the
lady
ladies
too.
we brought to the dance.
But
man.
you right.
But at the end of the day, that's who you brought to the dance.
who you brought to the
That's who you brought to the dance, right?
That's
So let's
good.
dance, baby.
I love
You know what I mean? Yeah.
DJ music.
Yeah. But hang on. Can we switch gears for a
Let's
second?
pivot.
But we're gonna pivot real quickly because one of the things we did mention was Super Bowl. By the time y'all see this, the Super Bowl will been played.
True.
And we got a bunch
True.
of homies in
That's
here.
actually true.
By the time we play
Okay,
this, it'll
first
be
of all, my man Baylan's
10
over
days
there
from
just
now.
being a wonderful, wonderful bartender
There's
saying,
so many empty glasses. It's fucking.
hang on. You know what? I would love if mine was no
fix
longer
this?
empty.
Yeah, Baylan, can you help us out?
Yo,
And then, but then on
do
this,
an ice refresh because we
I don't
That's
fucking need
okay.
ice. That just waters it down. Doesn't waters
So
it down.
Hang on. Little cheeky drinks over here?
before we go to
Okay, I'm gonna let you slide in there.
just
Ramon.
because I think
Please
I
do.
think you guys and I know
Paul, you nice?
Paul ain't nice enough
I
yet.
could be nicer.
He could be nicer.
Oh, you're all
Make your good.
Appreciate you, brother.
You know?
so before
ahead.
you go into football and masculinity, I
That don't have to be masculine.
it doesn't matter. Just
Yeah. But go ahead.
but you know what I'm saying. Just to tie that piece, I think as much as you don't want us to play you up and talk about you and talk about us and more and all that stuff, everything that we're talking about, for you guys to allow this space, your business, for people to show up like that, takes a lot as individuals to allow people to show up like that.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we all pat ourselves on the back, so I'll fucking pat you on the back later. But in a deeper sense, I've shown up here in a horrible space. I've shown up here just like dragging myself through the door, not knowing how to get in here and sit down. And you guys know this stuff. So, you know, I look at myself and what I can do more in this community and what I say and the environment and everything and whatever. And I will do more now that I have time. But the time that you guys take out of your day for that shit's heavy, man.
Yeah.
To go home and to be able to take that and to support people,
You treat people the way you want to be treated.
respect and totally, and that's this environment. I don't think there's enough people that understand that side, and the day oneers understand that side because the last
Appreciate
call
you
it
saying
7
that.
months, whatever we've been day oneing together since March, almost a year now.
Yeah.
Right? We've all been trying together. Brian aside with Jax, like they've pivoted. I've seen it. We've all seen it. Everyone in this room, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you guys started at COVID. So
Yeah.
you came to a business where you knew nothing else but what you know at that day on that day.
You ain't
So
wrong.
I'm not wrong,
No, you
but from that you took all of us under that too, and we grew together. But you guys always, and yeah, you had your bad days. You come in and you know, like, whatever, that's your day. That's respect.
Right.
But
Everyone-
nine
everyone-
times out of 10, you showed up to the table on this seat and this couch to show us what it meant to show up again, to have the confidence inside, to hold our head high, to walk through these streets, that we're a part of a community together outside, whatever. And it's not a clique. It's not a clique. And that's the biggest part. I look in this camera and I say, it's not a clique because anyone's accepted. Because that takes a lot. So never stop. Yeah, respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, run it ball. Yeah.
Too much.
Oh yeah.
There's the clap you needed tonight,
clap.
right?
Hey,
All
There's
right.
the clap.
This is why I put
Yeah.
the shades
I
on.
make it- yeah.
You can't tell by the color of our skin, but we are blushing right now.
But we love you, man, and continue.
Thank you
And
so
continue.
No,
Okay.
Great sentiment.
Let's talk about football. Yeah, let's talk about football.
you can't stop there.
Before
Man.
we
Get
get to push
emotional.
football, I'm gonna put
Hit 'em up.
James on the spot real quick.
Hit 'em up.
You only got. I'm gonna give you 1 minute to answer this question. Favorite chicken sandwich in the fucking city, dog. Let's go.
Damn. Wow. He's gonna take everything you just said back, bro.
Wow.
Put him on the spot.
I support everybody's chicken sandwich, man.
I know you support it, but
You
who's
know
the
what?
best one?
I give my shout out to my boy, Chef Kai Carroll.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because
50th
There it is.
out at
He gave us
50th
one.
Block 1 when we opened that restaurant together,
Yeah.
he put forth the fucking best chicken sandwich.
Say that again. Who is it?
Kai Carroll at 50th Parallel.
You heard that.
Yeah, you
Damn,
heard
y'all
that.
heard that. What was good about it?
Sterling Springs
Give
chickens,
us some
man.
tasting
There you go.
notes. on it.
Yeah, I posted
Sterling
something a
Springs
few
for
weeks
sure,
ago.
yeah.
Those things were massive. And, you know, he's a great chef. He
Yeah.
culinary championship represented Kelowna.
Tasting notes on the sandwich.
Do you see what I'm saying?
A little bit of spice, a little bit of
yo.
slaw, nice brioche bun. It's all about the chicken.
I hate
though,
that, but I hate it
baby.
when stereotypes are right. But fuck, I swear to God, I love chicken so much, God.
Oh.
And like, you're the only person. Dog.
That chicken's good.
Dog, it is a
Can we even talk
stereotype.
about this month? Or,
Yes, we
yeah.
can. That's a point. That's a point.
can.
That's the
We
point,
can.
man. We talking about this shit, and you're the one dude. I'm like this. I will ask you about chicken sandwich because I was like, if there's one dude who knows about chicken sandwich more than me up in this one, it's
guy.
my man
I think
James.
we're scratching football.
So I'll
out of it.
say
We're just
this,
gonna talk
last-
chicken for the next
last
we'll get
thought
to the
on
one,
that.
we'll get-
Okay,
Last
okay.
thought on that.
Yeah,
Sitting
I
next to
promise.
my boy right here.
Yeah.
And something they're doing well. Jack's Pizza and Liquor.
yeah.
Shout
Yeah,
Jack,
I
shout
sat
Chef
there
James.
in front of a chicken sandwich the other night, And Jason, one of the guys who works there, he's like, I've never seen anyone look at a fucking piece of chicken like you are right now. And I love it. And I love it because, you know what, it's so simple, but it's so eloquent, and it's cuisine, and it's food and beverage, and it's what I love. So,
you guys make any like chickpea sandwiches?
nah, dude. Yeah, no cauliflower. No,
Right.
vegan,
That's the
vegan
AB.
chicken sandwich.
Chickpea.
But stay tuned. I feel like the grind life of chicken sandwiches and myself are not done. So
I just had to hear that personally. That's me.
I respect.
Now
I love
we're-
that question.
No, I
Thank you.
appreciate you, dog.
That just keeps it authentic.
I
man.
appreciate it. You know what I mean? You know that chicken, man. That's my dude over there. So now we're gonna pivot that shit, and I'm gonna say
I know you
there's a
wanna talk
bunch of
about
homies
football.
in this shit.
I know you
Let's
wanna
get
talk
some,
football.
bro. Let's go, man. Let's put some money out here.
The fun part about this is that we're gonna talk football for a few minutes, but when this is released, we're gonna know who's a chump and who's right.
and we're gonna
So
see who's.
before I get excited, can I go?
No, money goes up on the. No. Before you go to the
Oh, you're not
bathroom.
allowed anymore.
not allowed to.
No.
I've had too many of these fucking Hemingway daiquiris.
Dude, I'm wearing a fucking flight suit. I got to zip all the way down before I go piss. You know how long I've been holding that?
that's not my problem,
Let's
man.
go, dog. I ain't trying to race back there right now. So, dog, let's talk about
Dude,
this.
it's a podcast. Get a diaper,
Let's
bro.
talk about. I don't do diaper shit, man. That's baby shit, man. That's baby shit, man.
Wash
What you
them,
talking
man. Get a
What
diaper.
grown?
All right, pull it together.
Is any grown man talking about diapers around here? Let's go.
You
So
said it was a safe space.
This is a safe space.
he ain't
Talking
wrong.
about
He ain't
diapers.
wrong. He ain't wrong.
Why do you
So-
wear baggy pants all the time, man? I ain't got time to go to the washroom all the time.
You're killing me, dog. Yo,
Hey, you got a
stop,
busy
stop.
day ahead of me.
Stop! You're killing me.
I don't know.
Yo, I'm locking it in.
Hey,
man.
reel it in. Okay. I'm done. Okay.
So my question is this:
Getting older, man.
you got two choices. Killing me, dog. You got Tampa Bay and you got Kansas City. We got a bunch of homies in here right now, and I already started talking to y'all. So I already started taking notes. Who's gonna put their money where their mouth is? Who you got, and how much money you putting up? Because we're gonna say this right now. When people see this, we'll know who won, and whoever bets on the winner, we're splitting the pot. And whoever, you know, as I said, because I know I'm betting on the winner, dog. And whoever don't.
So it's got to be an even bet then, because you got if it's gonna be a pot, I guess we got to decide.
No, because everyone in here, if you put in $20 and you put it on so and so,
20.
We all got
30,
20 on.
40,
I was getting 50 on the
50,
Bucks, man.
50 on the Bucks. Do you see that? Put it down. Put it
20
down.
on the buck.
20 on the
So
Bucks.
what's the return then if it's a split?
No,
So
you all
how does
split
it
the
work?
profit.
Yeah.
Y'all split the profit.
How about we
Yeah.
take the profit
But
and we
accordingly,
donate it?
We donate
I guess,
it.
We
because-
donate
Oh,
the
we
profit.
donate it.
Oh, let's donate it.
You can donate to my pocket, man.
Yeah,
down
let's
that.
donate the profit.
How about, I'm down to match.
My
I'm down to match.
mom is the biggest kid. Shout out, mama. Mama, I got you, man. They talking greasy
If
about the
anybody-
Bucks. My mom's a
if anybody
KC
bets
fan. We put it on
Kansas-
KC. Let's go. I'm taking your money right now.
If anybody bets
City, let's go.
Kansas,
Go ahead, Brian. Go
I
ahead,
would-
Brian.
like what James just said, it'd be interesting to do like if someone bets Kansas.
You gonna take my bet? How
someone
much you put down?
matches-
How much you put down?
Let's
hear what
figure it
he's
out
gonna say.
after and keep going.
Yeah, but like no, if somebody bets Kansas and somebody bets
Me.
the Bucks, why don't we take the winner donates the winnings? They can take their money back, or they can donate the winnings.
Cool.
And you get to
wanna
you get
donate
to
the
choose.
winnings?
You get to choose who you want to go to.
There you go.
Cool. How much you putting? 50?
50. I'll go $50.
50.
I want to see Tom Brady.
He said 20.
I got 20, yeah. I would-
20.
to my boy Tom,
James,
Bucks fan.
how much
yeah.
you got on Bucks?
I got 50 on Bucks.
Is everyone betting on
50.
Bucks? How does this?
Fucking
goat's a goat.
Paulie P.
Goat's a goat.
Lions eat goats. We heard
actually-
that. Shout out, bro. You all heard
it's a
that,
super
man.
hard
Shout out.
honor.
My name's Junk, baby. You heard
Yeah,
that.
I
Yo,
don't know.
who's got KC?
Hard,
No one
hard.
got KC? My man.
Windmills.
That's my man, Windmills, man. We getting
Got
kicked out
KC.
together, bro. Let's go.
We go with
How much you putting down on that?
20
$20,
bucks.
$2.
I'm
$2, baby.
20.
I believe that.
I'm gonna match you. Okay. Fucking Paulie P. You want that 50? I'm gonna put 50 on the fucking KC. Let's
I
get
got
that right
10
now.
on Kansas City, baby.
That's
Let's get
right,
it.
right there. Kansas City. Let's get it, baby.
Kansas, did they change their
We'll
names?
figure out the donation later.
Kansas Titties now?
Patty B. Sean, I got 50 on that. Man, fuck that. I'm gonna put 60 on it, man.
Yeah, go Pete.
Oh my god.
You got 60. You got anything on this?
I'm making a hunt though.
That way, I'm betting Tampa.
What how much you putting on,
For
Power?
this,
How much?
KC, I'll do 50.
So
You know KC 50? He switched it.
For this, I'm doing KC.
You're just trying to balance out your bets, man. No matter which one, that's what you're doing.
Balance it out. Yeah. Okay, Jordan Powers,
50?
executive
Yeah, I'll
producer.
do 50.
You heard that.
50
The
KC.
EP just said 50 on KC, baby.
50-50?
Yeah.
It all matters
Whoa.
on the donation once.
Respect.
Your odds are you better fucking answer before we're past you.
I got a dub tag on the Calgary Stampeders.
Man, the Calgary fucking sucks, man. I'm from Edmonton, man. Fuck that. Calgary. Let's go.
Wow, Top Gun.
Shout out
Come on,
Seatown,
hey.
though. We love you, though, still.
Yo,
Yeah.
Eskimos
If
all
you're
day,
listening
baby.
from Calgary, yeah.
If you're listening to Calgary, you can put a
will,
comment
yes.
down and I'll get to you later, man. Let's go. So we got 120.
Wow.
We got 120 on the Bucks.
Shots in.
Yeah, that's right. You from Southern Alberta too, aren't you? Yeah, they'll take that. We got 140 on Kansas City and 120 on the Bucks. Y'all all heard that? You guys all saw that? Man, where are we gonna donate your guys' money to?
To Southern Alberta, baby. Let's get it.
Yeah, Southern Alberta, y'all.
We'll figure out.
Keep it local. We'll figure out.
We'll figure out the donation
We'll
later.
My man
We'll announce
Stevie
it on the
Gunn's
next
Kansas City.
podcast.
Okay. My man Stevie's on Kansas City, man. Let's go. What do you want to put down?
Dub tag.
Dub. Okay. We got 160 on Kansas City and we got 120 on the Bucks.
Wow, I thought it'd be the other way around.
No, man. We're
I knew it was
smarter
gonna.
than
Yeah,
that,
I
bro.
knew it was
All
gonna
right,
be Kansas
let's
City.
go.
I like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I'm
So
okay
we'll
with
put it this way: whichever side wins, we put it in, and we're gonna donate the money. Okay?
Yeah.
Yo, and do we have like a destination for the money?
I say we all talk about it in the behind the scenes, and then we announce it next podcast.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys heard it here, all right?
We'll
Shit's
pick some.
deck.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen, baby. My homie, baby. Let's go, baby.
Mahomes,
AFC
your
West,
homes.
baby. Let's
Yeah.
go, mama. I got you, mama.
Tom Brady.
Okay. So, okay. Before we take another break, anything else you want to touch on, gentlemen?
I'm
boys?
good at this.
I might. There's a bottle of wine that's been sitting there for a while.
I know. Thank you, James, for.
Oh
bringing
yeah,
that.
like
Can you talk about that ball?
Well, I know.
I can't. I can talk about it very briefly because I
about you?
want to do one of those.
5-second wine review. Let's
If you
go.
know, if you know, Brian's good at the 5-second wine review.
Do it,
but
do it,
if
do it.
James, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, James, you present it and then I'll do mine.
all right, we'll present it.
You know what, James? I think we should.
Yeah, respect. We're
Let's
gonna
do
do
it.
this. Nighthawk Vineyards down in OK Falls. Just started doing some work with them as a sales manager. So looking forward to get this wine into some different restaurants and retail around
Tight.
the Okanagan. And one being Jack's
we're
after
on
this.
it.
Yeah, it's on. So it's pretty much in Jack's already. And GM at Jack's is it's hilarious actually. he does this thing called like a 5-second wine review, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty
That's all you need.
plentiful. Yeah, I mean,
Tasting notes,
yeah,
expressing
let's just see it. Let's see it.
Let's just show us.
Oh wow!
It's like values, bro. Don't talk about it. Show us.
It pours very nicely.
That's great.
That's, so yeah, again, Nighthawk Vineyard, their 2017 Gewürztraminer.
All right.
Schminer.
So, hey guys, Unky B here again for another 5-second wine review. Today I'm doing the 2017 Nighthawk Gewürztraminer. Let's check it out. Woo! Stunning.
That's great. We're gonna take a short break, folks. We're gonna come
We'll
back
be
after we all
right
get some
back, man.
stunning Gewürztraminer in us.
First time I was introduced to the Greyheart space was when Paul brought me in before they had any racks, any clothes, anything in here. And he was kind of giving me the layout vibe and the idea and the concept of what Greyhearts was supposed to be. And he brought me over to this little area. It wasn't kind of fine-tuned like this, but he was talking about how this is going to be a lounge area, which was pretty wicked. And the second time I was introduced to Greyhearts space was the day that me and Paul went out to West Kelowna and picked up these two couches, which are pretty symbolic to what this culture and what this space is about. Picked them up in the truck, brought them down, and then put them in. I think this was actually the first two pieces of furniture that this entire facility had in it,
Sweet.
which is pretty cool.
Compliments the floor, man. Cool. Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I've known Paul for some time. So the first time I met Sean was definitely a moment for me, and that was around kind of an event, their open house, and his boisterousness, his love for Hennessy, his love for people, his love for boys was infectious. And yeah, we took some shots together and life was great. And I'll never forget, I'll get sentimental as I will for one last moment. Sean taught me play your position. And play your position means in this world, if you're going to be on the front lines, be ready to be on the front lines. If you're going to be on the sidelines as an ambulance driver, picking up the dead, play that position. Understand what you're meant to do and do that to the fullest.
Do it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never forget that. And a year later, I still always hit that. So, love to the Greyhearts.
No, I'm sure. I always ask for things to be cut out, and Jordan never cuts it out. So I don't even have to.
So let's, for all of our sake, let's hope he cuts that one out. But if he don't, let's work with that. You know what I mean?
Anyways, so yeah, it was delicious. It is delicious.
So we got
I'm
more
still
day
drinking
ones,
it.
don't we?
We got more day ones. We got a
We're
long night
so
ahead of
fucking
us.
lucky, man.
We
We've
got a
had
long
the
night ahead of
craziest.
us.
We've had the craziest homies, man. It's been the greatest night. Let's bring 2 more down to the couch, though.
I think so.
Can we,
I'm down.
Can we shout out our man Windmills?
Windmills. You know what?
Hey, if you guys saw the last episode, you should know Windmills is.
We were. Wow. Okay, one more time. Silence. One more time.
Let me hit that shit.
There it is.
Windmills,
That's the ticket. Windmills last. He
You're
requested.
welcome.
He's like, "There's no way I'm coming on the podcast if I don't get to do my signature entrance."
Yeah.
Well, the thing was 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I wanted to be the first guest 2 weeks in a row, and I will want to be the
You
first
are
guest
the first guest.
3 weeks in a row. And, it's now my podcast.
So that's exactly
tonight
it.
we're
Yeah.
going to talk about
We just officially became guests on
Yeah.
the Windmill podcast.
local businesses.
Yeah.
Who are they? Hey, guys. Who are you?
My name's Sean.
Windmills featuring Greyhearts.
Yeah. This is our dude. Okay, I'm so
nice.
happy Windmills
so
is back
sorry.
here, man. If you guys, and hang on, if you haven't seen the 3rd episode of this fucking podcast, y'all need to go back, check our man Windmills. 2 of the dopest live performances, like straight up, man. Like that was a fucking. I even hate saying vibe at this point because it's so overkill.
It was a vibe.
But it was like 10 vibes. Dog. yeah. It was
10.
good.
I think that's the next thing. Be like, was it a vibe? Like it was
No,
10. It was 10 vibes.
It was 10,
yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah. How many?
10 of
yeah.
them, man. You killed it.
And then past that, thanks for joining us the last podcast because you literally stole the show.
Yeah.
The wine-liners, like I watched it again and I was like, man,
Yo,
Windmills.
he was so slick, you know what I mean? Like you gotta watch shit like 2 or 3 times to catch everything.
I'm
he's dropping
literally
on you.
watching everything
Yeah.
I'm saying because I feel like he's just gonna like say something and drop. Go ahead, drop a joke.
No,
burn
but
us.
I was just going to
Go
say,
ahead,
you know
yeah.
what the secret was?
What?
Having more notes than the game Hangman in your book.
That's not your.
That looks
It's
like the
not
game
my
Hangman.
book.
Yo, Windmills, draw a head on that shit. Here you go, man.
I did my. The
I don't need it. I don't need
The
it.
podcast started already. I didn't think I needed more notes.
Sorry,
so
this camera for making
Hang on.
uncomfortable
Let me just show. Paulie, put this on the spot, man.
No,
Yeah.
this is good. Show
Where-
them the rest of the notes that I actually do stuff.
Where are the Windmills notes? Is it just tears?
Yeah.
Man, you get that. Yo, trust me, his shit looked like a hangman, man. It's
Okay,
like,
here it is.
Oh, look at this.
Can you show them all the other pages though?
The other pages don't matter right now.
No, they're the ones. That,
Yeah.
let's
So
have- there's a long break.
we've been playing hangman over here, and we're lucky because Windmills is gonna come here and he's gonna save us, dog. And last time you fucking killed it, and we're just
Yeah.
so happy to have you back. And on a flip note, because we've been talking about day ones,
Yes.
man, you've been here. Like, how long, man? I think
just
about it.
showed up one day. and
Just
you
showed
guys
up
were
one
like,
day.
I don't know, but
I guess
stay
basically-
as long as you want, I guess.
So
And who brought you here though?
my man Baylan.
That's
My baby
that's
Bay.
yeah, so
My
we're gonna
baby.
bring you back
Get
out,
baby out
Baylan,
here.
because
Really,
I
get your ass out
yeah,
here,
yeah.
man. Yeah, let's go.
Because oh, look at that! Look at that
That's
love,
cute.
man.
That's fucking cute,
Yeah,
man.
should we hug? I don't know.
Hey!
Fun though.
It's a
Everyone's
thing
like,
between
that's-
us, but
yeah, it's a thing.
It's not just between you.
Yeah,
Calm
you don't
down.
just you don't get to have
You don't get to
you don't get to
fucking-
have the hug.
You don't
yeah.
always hugs, bro.
Oh, this is our thing. We
Yeah,
hug
hugs
like
existed
yeah.
before you
I
two,
also
bro.
brought
Let's go.
shots.
Did you?
Windmills brought shots.
What did you bring shots of, bro?
I brought shots of this bottle that looked cool. No, it's actually.
I'm
It's
so happy you brought a
sake.
black bottle because I'm so down, dog. Let's go.
I sneezed over there.
Alrighty then. No, you didn't.
No, I brought. I think it's sake. I know it's sake.
It's
I don't know
definitely
why I
sake.
said
It's
it.
saucy. Okay, fucking pill
I
closet.
brought-
Unless they're lying on the bottle, it's sake.
Hang on, let me
yeah.
check the cap on this. Make sure you can put this shit in there. Okay,
You know,
that's metal.
sprinkle.
Yeah,
yeah.
we good.
Anyways,
We
let's
good.
not go there. Yeah. Oh,
To you guys being accepting
Wow.
You
as
could be
ever,
fucking injecting shit, man.
for you.
Thank you so kindly.
This is to you guys on your 1 year anniversary,
Oh,
potentially.
man.
Whenever the date is, I don't know.
You know what?
When this gets
February
released.
15th.
It'll happen.
You've cultivated
Good timing.
an amazing space. And to go beyond this, and I'm going to hog the mic because I'm like a Kanye.
Please do it.
I'm the Kanye of Kelowna.
Wow.
I just said it for the first
Let
time.
Taylor Swift have a moment
I just
later.
got
Yeah.
canceled.
Yeah.
You're
This
canceled,
is
dog.
to James, to Brian, to everyone who is sitting on this couch.
Pappy Bottles,
tonight
Stevie,
and before,
EP,
Stevie, Pavel, Jordan Powers. He's got so many Tinder dates lined up, it's crazy.
He's got to hurry up. We gotta hurry up.
Thank you, brother.
Howard's
Thank
got
you so
Tinder
much.
dates on deck.
Cheers
Let's
to you.
go.
Cheers to all of you.
Man. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, man. Yo, thank you guys.
Salute.
Salut, Solange. Let's go.
That tasted real nice.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
was actually-
Pavel, for dropping that Palo Santo and rocking that little essence
That
in the
tasted
house.
wonderful.
The best
Dude.
smell in the game.
Sake is the bomb.
Palo Alto.
Are you familiar with sake much?
I'm so sorry. You guys.
I just got familiar.
You got real familiar with it, yeah. It's a distilled rice wine.
Yo, it's wonderful. I fucking love it, man.
Real nice.
Well, we got a few things to talk about over here, I guess.
I hope so.
First of all, can we do a favor here? Can you guys tell us about day one? Because, I mean, Baylan, you're the one who brought our man Windmills over here. So technically, we owe you the pleasure of
Yeah.
this.
We already talked about how you kind of came in here first,
Are
eh?
you going to talk about your own day one, or am I going to do it for you?
No,
What do you
I
wanna
would
do?
love it.
How about,
I would love it.
let's have a
Ooh.
lead in?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Everything he says is
Lead him in,
I don't
Baylan.
know.
Wow, everything
okay.
is true, dog. Let's go.
So
I just-
we're hanging out in the midst of like a relatively serious and tragic moment in Corey's life. He's going through like a pretty
The fuck's
like
Corey?
I mean, it's just sorry. Windmills.
Who's Corey?
Windmills, windy, if you will.
I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm kidding. Yeah.
So yeah, he's
Fuck
going
is
through
Corey?
like
I don't know
like
about
without
Corey.
sugarcoating like one of the craziest fucking breakups I've ever seen.
talking about Windmills?
Yeah, for sure.
okay.
So he I don't know, we're hanging out a lot around this time, and we kind of cruise in and just like, yo, here's
Literally on
my
your
fragile and
bikes.
sensitive
Yeah.
friend. Like, y'all want to hang out, and that's just kind of, I don't know, like. Long story short, that's pretty much how we introduced him to you guys. Like, we just kind of, it was like, yo, here's a space.
I
where
just
we can all
remember
just
you
kind of,
guys like we had the garage doors up, so like
Yeah, yeah.
summertime, and we have like big garage doors that we can like light up. So it was just really cool to
Summertime's
like
wild around
honestly
here.
half the
Remember
time
that shit.
Sean and I like like when the sun hits right, we always make sure to like take a break, grab a beer, hang out, and we're out there and we see you two like frequently biking up, like
Yeah.
hanging out, like bring the bikes inside, and like come in, and then
Dude,
we're
it's
all.
like them and homeless dudes with
And the-
fucking carts
Yeah.
in the street, dog. And
Yeah.
they
Not
come
together.
like-
Is that Baylan and Windmills, or is that homeless and homeless? Yeah,
like
like
it was like two different caravans. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
Is it Baylan and Windmills coming up, or is it like homeless Ted and
didn't know
homeless
we were, like,
Bob coming up?
Baylan and
Like,
Baylan and potential homeless.
Baylan
Yeah, yeah.
and who?
But it turned out to
Yeah.
be me.
But
It turned out to be Windmills.
so these guys showed up with just like backpacks of beers. We didn't have a keg at that point, so we were all kind
so
of like
unsophisticated
yeah,
at
yeah.
that time.
yeah, so unsophisticated. Yeah.
It was so unbecoming at that time
Yeah.
around here.
So it's nice to like see homies come up and like bring a 6-pack, and like
Bring
we're all
beer.
just like
Yeah.
hanging out and be like, it was almost like I'd be like, let's hang out and let's have a conversation. So it's so nice when someone like dropped a 6-pack
Yeah.
at the door and like, hey, like we're here to talk.
Yo, what do you need to talk about today?
Yeah.
And that was Sean. That was like within the first little bit, and we kind of spoke on it last time, but then we're like, were we drinking? And yeah, we were, but
Yeah.
don't worry about it. But
We were, but it wasn't the whole bit of it. Yeah.
the only reason I showed up was because Baylan was working on the Loverboy jacket. So
Yes.
that kind of
Right.
ties
See,
it all
full
in.
circle. Full circle.
And
Yeah.
it was like this. He was like, I'm going to Grey Hearts, and I knew about you. I had heard about you. I followed you on Instagram, but you didn't follow me back yet. And I was like, do I unfollow them? Like, what do I
always the
do
question,
here?
right?
Like, this
Did we
is
not? But did we not
uncomfortable.
get to it pretty soon? Like, come on. dog.
Eventually.
A couple months
But that's the
later,
question,
but it
right?
was
Yeah.
it was well, next episode. But,
Yeah.
So it was
about
one
that.
of those.
Windmills is
things
gonna be here
at
for
the last
every
minute.
episode, is what he's saying.
We got so
Yeah.
much to talk
I'm
about.
so sorry
Yeah.
to everybody.
No.
who
It's
can-
his podcast. Let him do what he wants.
The Grey Mills Hearts Wind. Wow. So
We're onto
on a
something,
whim,
yeah.
like I
Yeah.
came with Baylan, and he was finishing up the details and the final touches,
Yeah.
and I was a disaster. And like Sean, we sat on the stoop, we had a couple drinks, and
Yeah.
it was just like, what's going on?
Imagine
like,
that.
hey man, like you're in it. I can tell this is a safe space, and it really was within that afternoon. I felt like I could open up, and like Paul, the same with you. It was just this wonderful thing where Kelowna
Paul's a little
doesn't
more of a
have
Kelowna
that.
socialite. So you,
Well, I knew Paul before I knew you.
yeah,
I'm
of course
sorry.
you did. That's
I love that you
socialite
keep bringing
life.
that up. I think the more you bring that up, it actually will become true one day. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it speaks true to like what James and Brian were talking about, where it's like this whole this space that you guys have created is somewhere that's really cool, especially like for men, I guess, to come in and like actually talk about what's going on in our lives and what is like the more complicated shit, the stuff that's like not really,
It's not hashtag.
I guess, almost like accepted in a sense. Like
Yeah.
it's like we're kind of.
Yeah, it was cool to see James and Brian touch on that a bit about just it being like a safe space and just like talking about like, hey, like you can literally like drop in any day, anytime.
You don't need to buy shit, man. Just come through and bring your energy.
Come hang out.
It's
Yeah.
important, though. Except for backpacks and shoes.
I mean, we do have to pay the rent.
I mean, if
but
you're gonna walk out with some
Or
backpacks,
buy
and,
shit, but
yeah.
you don't need to.
But you don't need to, dog. It's not
Yeah.
a prerequisite.
But like good or bad, you guys are here for it, and that's I think what is so like significant in our lives, and at least in mine, is like I can come here no matter what shape I'm in, and just know like I've got two homies to hang out with, and that's a really big thing
Appreciate
for me,
that,
you know.
man.
And I think that from the experience I've kind of seen through Corey is like that's something we all share with why we love this place so much.
Dude.
It's been fun really to build that into our business plan, I guess, to like really leave space to have the living room, which is kind of what you guys see on the podcast, but leave that as a part of the day where it's like there's a certain amount of hours where like Sean and I like get our hustle on, and there's a retail like component to the whole place
we do
where
work.
like
I
you know like
promise you, we do
But
work.
you guys,
sometimes.
We do
factor
work
in,
sometimes,
You
but,
factor
like,
in time
you
for
know what
people
I
to
mean? But
show
we-
up and
that's
just talk about shit, though. That's the best part.
That's
like,
exactly
this
it.
like living room space,
Dude.
mics or not, like this is exactly what we'd be doing here on any given day.
That's
and
exactly
that's what's
it.
so authentic about even
Yeah.
like what's being recorded
we
here.
factor in the human element of the whole hangout part of it, you know, because that actually becomes, I mean, not that that's like part of the marketing ploy or part of the branding, you know, but it definitely like complements it, you know, because we're trying to get good guys in here or good girls or, you know, people
people, yeah.
in
Good
general
humans,
to
Good
show
energy,
up.
yeah.
So the more we can facilitate an organic, dope environment for everyone who's dope, the more just like that'll do it. That it's gonna do its own work. So it's been fun to see a lot of our day one homies kind of really, and I mean we appreciate all you guys really speaking on that because like man that like hits us
Okay.
hard.
One thing I think for Paulie and I, I'll speak for both of us right now, if he doesn't mind, is that I mean
I do not.
It goes both ways, right? You guys come here, you guys bring so much to our day. Like we'll be chilling here and shit's whatever's whatever, but when your homies come through and they bring their energy, it lights your shit up, and you guys bring a spark to our day.
Yep.
And so it goes. It's such a two-way street that it's actually a pleasure to hear you guys say shit that I swear to God I would say about y'all coming here. And I'm like, yo, man, we get to talk about whatever. We get to.
Yep.
So I'm gonna leave it like that.
Yeah.
So I get too much into
But
it.
bottom line,
100%.
you can
Yeah.
make time for the business aspect of it.
But you know,
The human element is priceless.
Paulie, you're wise beyond your years. On one of the things that
Come
you
on.
said was the human element.
You want to see my gray hairs, man? That's just been.
Yeah,
Those
he's
are your wise
and even
hairs.
with all those
The
gray
wise-
hairs,
with
he's
the
still
wise
wise beyond
ones.
his years. Trust
Gray
me.
hearts, bro.
Living gray hairs and gray hearts.
Gray
baby.
hair-
Let's
gray
go,
hairs and
man.
gray hearts, man.
Let's go,
Gray
man.
hearts.
Let's go, man.
That's a new
Let's
line.
go.
Wow, that's a new line. Hashtag that shit.
Gray hairs and gray hearts,
Yeah,
baby.
Gray hairs and gray
But
hearts.
you know what?
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say
Wisdom
real
and
quick is
love.
what he said is the human element. And one of the biggest things, if we're gonna talk to all our business oriented, whatever, this is more than business. This is more than whatever. It's about the human element, and for us, one of the biggest components to what we do here is not only embracing the human element, but sitting here and doing our best to facilitate it and support it. You know what I mean? And
100%.
And to understand that and to be here to bear witness to it and give space to it. You know what I mean?
Well, it'd be easy for you guys to like shuck off, like, yo, homie's having a hard day. Like, I don't really have time for this shit.
I'm
Like,
t-
it,
I'm
like,
a-
and I'm just gonna like hide out and do whatever.
Well,
and I'm just gonna
yeah.
merchandise and like.
Fucking
Well, that's the thing though. It's an equal exchange though,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
even circling back to our first conversation, it's like when that whole like Black Lives Matter thing was happening. It's like I see you guys feeling it, and that like kind of wakes something up in me. Is like fuck, like I should really be paying more attention, you know. And that's kind of like that's the community exchange that goes on in this shop.
Well, that's your
right?
empathy too. If you didn't have empathy as a person, that wouldn't even resonate with you.
which is why we feel you.
Yeah. That's why he's one of the
why we're
homies. That's why he's the day winner.
That's what.
Make some
that's
make
what's
some
up.
noise for day oneers, dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's really interesting to know too, like
Yeah.
all of the day oneers or everyone who we've kind of chatted with or you've chatted with tonight, like where were all of us 1 year ago?
man, we've
Yeah.
grown.
Very different positions.
We've all grown.
Business-wise, personal-wise, all of it.
Retrospective.
And that shows kind of in a roundabout way, it comes back to the space that you've created. Like we've all come here at our worst or at our low, and then we've gone off and we've done our work, we've done this and we've that, and now we're
And at
back.
your best too.
And now we're just we're sitting on a couch together,
Yeah.
in
At
the
our
same
best, baby.
clothing almost.
Look at
And
these two motherfuckers. Look at these two.
like it speaks volumes to what you guys.
No,
have
there's something to be
created,
said about that,
and-
man.
and
Like,
it
this
comes
is-
back to that in a very natural and authentic way,
Yeah.
where it's not forced, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying with like the Instagram hashtag or the photo. It's not like you were out here being like, yeah, come if you're having a bad day.
I
come
helped
to
out my
Greyhearts.
friends today. Hashtag empathy.
Exactly.
Like,
Oh, can we take a photo? You're just kind of like I'm crying in
Sad.
the photo.
Hashtag sad boy. Hashtag empathy.
Yeah, straight up. That's
Although I do
totally
love,
it.
for me, the hashtag sad boy. Like, buy my new record.
Yeah, listen to that shit.
I'm a
Cry
happy
a
guy
little
who
bit.
makes sad music, right?
I mean, I'm gonna make a brand out
Yeah.
of
That's my man Windmills right there, baby.
You want to see a sad boy?
Listen, I make sad music, but I'm mostly happy.
But I'm
He's mostly happy.
That's one of the core.
But if you
quotes.
want to,
like
yeah.
check episode 3 if you don't. know what
But
we're
the
talking
sad
about.
boy is sellable, so
Yeah.
that
No,
shit's out there.
No, that's real talk, man.
Shout out Drake.
Yeah.
Shout out Drake. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out your ex-girlfriend.
My ex-girlfriend was not Drake.
Yeah.
All of ours.
Yeah. Let's not get started on Drake.
Yeah, no, I don't want to even. We don't got time for all that. man.
That's a whole
keep
nother
pushing it.
episode.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch fucking gears here, and I'm
Let's
gonna,
Go back
switch
to
it.
football.
and I'm
I'll
gonna
be
open. No,
upset.
I'm not even going back to football.
Okay, good.
I'm about to open this up
Talk
to
about
everybody.
jokes.
Can I talk about? It's kind of about jokes though. Did you guys hear? This is fucked up though. Did you guys hear Lamar Odom is gonna be boxing Aaron Carter? I'm going there, bro.
Aaron
Who is that?
Carter.
One
Aaron
of the Backstreet Boys is he?
No, it's his little brother, dog.
Nick Carter's little brother. And
Aaron
then so,
Carter. Did you guys hear? And
It's
they're
fighting-
both like. I mean, shout
maybe
out
if
to
you don't know
everyone
either
who's
of them.
dealing with fucking issues about substance abuse. Shout out them dealing with it. But these two dudes, they're about to go, and I swear to God, I think the boxing match is gonna be streamed live on TweekR, bro.
Do you know who these guys are?
On TweekR?
do you know what to?
No, I don't, but on TweekR, no.
I've got nothing.
Okay, so let's break it down for Baylan. But obviously, TweekR is something that
We made it.
we're gonna buy stocks on TweekR because we just made it up. It's like Twitch and Twitter, but for crack addict tweakers, celebrity. Yeah. GameStop proof. Yeah. We're gonna short that shit.
But the short sell all that.
So can you tell?
I wish it was a Backstreet Boy. But
It
it's
is,
not.
but no. But it's a. Hang on, was he a Backstreet Boy or NSYNC boy? He's Backstreet.
Where's the fact?
Aaron
check?
Carter?
Who's Aaron
He,
Carter?
Aaron
No,
Carter
he's
is
Nick
okay.
He's
So
Nick
he's
Carter's
Nick
little
Carter's
brother.
little brother. So Nick.
Pop-up video.
And you know what? We fucking Googled
It's
it
Aaron's-
today, and
Aaron's
he came
house
up
party.
as an American rapper.
Oh my goodness.
He is
And
an
he's got-
American
and
rapper.
he's-
Ain't no
I'm
party
about-
like
I'm about-
Aaron's
Yo, dude,
party.
I'm about
like-
to bring this full circle to
I have a
Black
really
History
hilarious
Month about
Aaron Carter
cultural
joke, though, in a
appropriation
second.
because that's fucked up.
it's
You can't just
painful
be a
for me.
rapper. You guys just can't be a rapper like that, dog.
Google him. He's an American rapper. Google Aaron Carter
If
right
I-
now.
if I
He,
may,
Please,
on the
American-
topic of Aaron Carter,
please,
in
please.
2016 I toured Canada.
With him?
No, but almost. Hold on, hear me out. I played a show
so sorry.
on a Wednesday night in Kingston, Ontario, and the venue was called The Mansion, and it was me and Van Damsel from Kamloops.
And Van Dam?
Van Damsel, R.I.P.
I thought he was doing
I don't know what
splits
I'm
or
doing
something.
with
I
my
thought he
hands,
was
but
talking
nobody showed up. But the next night
At
was
the Mansion?
sold- at the
they
Mansion
thought
in
Aaron Carter
Kingston.
was
But the next
Sounds big.
night,
Aaron Carter, baby.
shut the door.
literally the next night, Aaron Carter was playing at the Mansion in Kingston.
He was playing.
I feel like Pavel ruined the joke, but it's cool.
But anyway,
That's
we're
fine.
gonna, we're gonna,
And
we're
the
gonna,
joke was on me, but
no,
it's
no,
okay.
no, it wasn't because the thing is, I'm thinking the next night no one else.
No, the next night was sold out in Kingston, Ontario on a Thursday for Aaron Carter, and the night before I played to nobody.
Did he have the face?
It was pre-faced ad, but
Yo, can relate.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
fucking
The
played a
midweek
show in
shows?
Nanaimo for like the other band we were touring with because that was it. There was like us and the other band, 5 dudes just going ham with our like. I think one dude had a cousin there. That's about it.
So what you're saying is we can box Aaron Carter. Forget about TweekR
Yeah, fuck
pay-per-view.
yeah.
You're gonna
You'll
box
get
Aaron Carter
We'll
now.
do it
yeah.
here.
Yeah, we'll do it right
Put
here.
him on the phone.
So, let's be honest here, dog. Him
I don't
against Lamar Odom.
know that a lot of people know either at this point.
I'm not sure if this is.
So it's like I think
It actually.
I think a lot of people have to
maybe-
Google
ahead and-
both
as-
of
as
them.
I'm
the
gonna tell
guest
you
on
right
your
now.
podcast,
The reason why.
I'm gonna go ahead.
You know
and
what?
say
The
I'm
reason
not
why.
sure about this topic of conversation.
You're not sure about it, but I'm 100%. Because the reason why
gotta Google
is
it.
because I'm looking at this shit and
Just-
I'm seeing. Hang on, Floyd Mayweather is now signed on to box fucking Logan Paul and Jake Paul and 50 Cent.
And 50
so
Cent.
the reason why I say that shit. No, he's putting this shit up.
Those people.
You don't know who. You don't. If you
never heard
don't.
of 50
If you don't know
Cent?
who 50 Cent is, I'm about to sub you
That's
up.
the only one I know.
Okay, so then.
But that's where you're going with this.
That's where I'm
Yeah,
going with
yeah.
this. And I'm sitting there, I'm like this. Yo, what's happened to boxing? And we're talking to a few dudes right here. Have they sold their cell
Look
for
at the size of my arms. I don't know shit about boxing, man.
Okay, but it's a topic. Who wants to touch on
straight
this?
up? Did y'all see the Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson fight?
Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
Y'all, you didn't see Jake Paul sleep.
Okay,
Nate
so
Robinson?
break it down. Maybe break it down.
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah, I'm confused as to who that is.
Okay, you know what?
Go for it.
Baylan, you ain't wrong.
Fair enough.
I didn't know about these. I didn't know about these people, and I swear to God, until a few months ago, and I started watching this shit, and I'm like, who are these people? Because I knew Nate Robinson from basketball, and I'm sitting there. This dude's about to jump in the ring with this fucking YouTuber, and I was like, Nate Robinson knocked this fucker dude out, but he got knocked the fuck out, bro. He got knocked the fuck out by this kid who fucking sings like it looks like S Club 7 songs. Like I'm not lying to you. Remember S Club 7 that shit?
There ain't no party like an S Club party.
That's
That's the one.
Party
That's
like
the
a
one.
Jake Paul party, dude. It was the same fucking shit. This
Yeah.
dude's outside a fucking mansion dancing with kids that you're like, okay, did you get your fucking I don't know like TFB like trust fund babies? Like they're living it up off their parents' money, and then you're gonna knock out Nate Robinson like that? That shit hurt me. But okay, that's what happened. I accepted it.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So then we moved on.
We're moving on.
And I see Lamar Odom, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay,
This is the next fight.
Lamar Odom.
Shit.
Lamar Odom gonna fight. I'm like, what the fuck? Lamar Odom's alive still? I'm like, fucking
Yeah.
straight up.
This is
First
a
of
weird
all-
highlight. This
First
is a-
of all,
this is a weird headline.
First of all, respect Lamar Odom for still being here, man. That
Sure.
dude been through some shit.
That's already respect.
Like I'm gonna put it this way. That dude, back in the day, we looked at that dude like, yo, this dude might be the next thing at number one. Like this dude was running point.
He was coming up.
Like 6'10", 6'11", like who does that, man? Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like this dude had handles. He was doing his thing.
At that level, who's 6'10",
I can't tell
6'11"
you.
right now?
Other than shout out Triple C, what's up, LeBron? Like, you know what I mean? So like, other than that,
Right.
nobody was doing that shit.
But that's that level, right?
And then he ends up hooking up with fucking what? One of the Kardashians.
I don't know. One
His
of them.
life goes down the fucking brrr, and then next thing you know, he's
That's
on,
gonna
he's on
happen.
TweekR. He's
Yeah.
on TweekR posting, dog.
Yeah.
And
TweekR's like it's like Twitter and Twitch, but for a bunch of like crack addicts.
yeah,
Just like celebrity crack addicts. Like it's TweekR. Yeah, it's gonna go live, so we're gonna.
yo, if you don't know about TweekR yet, that's not your fault.
It's gonna go. It's gonna go public, and you're gonna want to get some shares in that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
He's on TweekR.
Yo,
Yeah.
next GameStop is gonna be TweekR, dog.
Yeah.
Y'all getting on that.
But who's
man.
doing it now? So like,
Let me
yeah.
get on that. So, anyways, point being, we see on TweekR, stream live, Aaron Carter is fighting Lamar Odom, and we're sitting there
Aaron
like, yo,
Carter.
Didn't
world
that
right
dude
now.
get like Medusa tattooed on his face or some
His
shit?
whole face is
Is that the same
tattooed.
guy? Am I right
and
with
he's-
that?
That's him.
He's been to
Yeah, okay,
rehab
okay, yeah,
and
I know who
he's
you're talking about.
tried to come out of it. And if you Google Aaron
Googled him.
Carter and
It says
drugs
American rapper.
and you hit images, you're gonna see exactly what we're talking about. So just just Google Aaron Carter and then
what
hit
happens.
images
Your
and
algorithm
see what
is
happens
fucked from
and that's what's good. You're gonna see what's up. But so he decides he's boxing
Lamar Odom.
Lamar
Have you
Odom.
ever seen two dudes that are both other 6 feet fighting at like the featherweight? Like that's fucking
But so
crazy.
what is that
dude.
worth though for the sport?
No.
That's my point.
That's the whole question.
That's
Thank
my
you. Thank
okay.
you.
sir.
You just
Yes.
hit it on the head.
Honestly though, because is it now? Are we just watching fucking gladiators for sport, or
This
what
is
is
what's
the
the
point?
Yeah,
Does
like,
it
why-
dull it?
Why
Does
did
it
you fight
enhance
each other
you?
in the
Or
first
even
place?
Am I
gladiators.
Russell Crowe? Are you not entertained? Probably
Yeah.
not. I'm skinny.
I'm so
But
glad
you
you
know
came to
what?
that conclusion.
What's the point?
So glad you came to that
He just-
conclusion
yeah.
because that's literally what
That's
you
literally
were
what I wanted
like.
to
That
ask
was
you.
your topic of conversation
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
want to bring up.
I want to ask you is like, do you feel that that's even, as far as the sport goes, right? And obviously you got boxing versus UFC, you got pay-per-views, you got all the shit, especially with COVID, they don't got the audiences. So do you feel that it's merited for a sport to bring in side shows
I see why
to
they would.
compete
Yeah.
just to get pay-per-view numbers? Is that merited, or do you feel that you're actually compromising the sport and it's a negative? Like, and I see a lot of arguments on both sides. I hear Mike Tyson arguing on the side of the fucking Logan and Jake Pauls, but then I hear boxing enthusiasts on the other side being like, yo, man, you guys are cheapening the sweet science. Like, almost going full circle, are you abusing a platform to make money, or are you bringing appreciation to a certain science?
And I know both of you aren't like boxing
fans.
enthusiasts.
I'm not even a
so
sports
so
fan
it's
at
kind
all,
of
but,
nice
like,
to hear from a different
Tell
perspective.
us what you guys think.
Well, that's you sound like you're describing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay, yeah,
not wrong.
You know what I mean?
okay.
Like Super Bowl, like whatever. Like they may be great teams, but like in the middle of the fucking day, like some dude just or girl or whatever comes on and they just like sing and dance in the middle of the show, and that's like bigger than the game half the time.
Right.
So like,
do you think that cheapens
what's
it?
the fucking point? You
Is
know
that what
I
you're
mean?
saying?
Like
yeah.
Do
a
you think
little
it cheapens?
bit. That's
do you think it
maybe this
cheapens
is why I don't watch it. I don't understand like
Okay, that's
the
a fair-
attraction in both sides of it being
sure.
put into the same thing. I'm like,
So you're not
it's
curious
commercialized
how-
interest. Like that's all it really is.
Are you curious how Aaron Carter could take a punch?
I'm not even a little bit, to be honest. Probably as good as me. Somebody hit me in the head, I'd probably get knocked out. Like I don't know. It's got nothing to do with anything other than
That's
like
fair.
it's,
Windmills.
You're
what do you
fucking ad dollars
what do you-
out of people.
Dude, that's so
competing,
fair.
right?
What do you think,
Like,
Windmills?
Dude, that's so fair, man.
I think
I'm
it's
not gonna
like
lie.
it's that this is an endless conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
Very heated because on one hand are these kind of like hacks, whatever, discount battery boy.
Yeah.
Are they bringing
Replacement.
attention to the sport for a good reason?
Sure.
Or are they bringing attention as a sideshow?
Right.
And you could spin that any way you want, as a business, as a performer, as an artist, as this or that. Like, how are you bringing in people to watch?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to bring in that amount of people, can you somehow, is it worth it? Or is it a positive reflection on that?
Yeah.
Like,
Or at
if
what
Baylan
point?
and I were going to fight, who would watch?
Okay.
watch.
You know what?
So no,
I'm not gonna lie. I might watch. No, no.
I'm
Would you
down to
watch? I'd
We have
watch.
A few
I'd
people
watch.
At least
down to
3
watch.
people would watch,
Yeah.
but is it less in the sport on one hand?
I'm not sure if
I
that's
was singing at
pay-per-view
halftime,
But
material.
is it going to raise awareness for something else?
So then,
So
that becomes a question: do you owe it to the sport that you're competing in?
do you owe it to yourself in,
To get paid?
in and of itself?
There
Like,
it
is
is.
it about the sport or is it about raising awareness for
And
whatever
I
you're trying to
wonder, I
promote?
wonder at that point if it becomes like, like I guess you as a boxer or you as like a business person within the
performer.
box
Interpretive dancer.
community. Yeah, hey, like
right. We're not
like
doing
are you there to box and like like fulfill your career and like like that's your jam,
Or is it a paycheck?
or is it a paycheck, or is it the business of boxing? Because that's what it's become for a number of different things in boxing or in sports. So it's tough because I think boxing needs a bit of like maybe like a little facelift, if you will.
Yeah,
like
an
like
infusion of life.
Yeah, it feels like boxing needs to come back because it is such a respected sport and it is beautiful and it is
watch boxing than UFC. Like,
right. But that's this is the conversation.
As you do, who's like,
So
I don't
Ba-
like sports. I'm like,
No.
yeah, boxing over UFC.
Yeah,
any
but
day of the week,
Baylan,
for sure.
thank you for saying that because I didn't want to say exactly that. But is boxing on the verge of becoming the media and PR of UFC, where there's maybe no turning back because they need to get to that point because UFC jumped like really quick because of their PR, their media, and what they wanted to become, and they were really smart about it, And boxing has been very traditional and very cool, but they've needed a couple things like maybe like the next like 50 Cent, 50 Cent.
Basically, the next
Boxing.
hashtag.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it
It's
boils
like-
down to. The
They're-
next hashtag.
They're looking to
Yeah.
really up their boxing, federation, like up, so.
But the more I
if
think
it's
about
high
it, honestly, hang
credibility,
on.
though,
The
then,
more I
like,
think
where's
about
the
it,
credibility.
Yeah,
I know, and that's the thing you're talking about.
Bigger
Credibility.
picture.
and it's tough.
Yeah.
It's
If
tough.
it's high
Where's the stop?
credibility, is it credibility?
Yeah.
And you spoke about it earlier.
I think you dropped on it, man.
100%. Like, are you virtue signaling on Instagram if you're promoting this or you're promoting that? Or, hey man, like, my album sales are pretty low, so I'm gonna fight Baylan.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Look at this. Two, like,
that'll bring it up.
we're gonna get
my album
These
sales
are
on
music
streams are gonna
Yeah.
go high up.
have you heard of
My album
Greyhearts?
sales are low. I'm gonna fight this guy to make sure they go up.
Hey guys,
Windmills and
sales
ugly
are
battles
low at
to the
Greyheart's
death.
Denim. Sales are low at Greyheart's Denim. Me and Paul are gonna fight, and you guys check it out. By the way,
We're live streaming it.
Put your bets,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
put your bets down on
But
TweekR.
let's consider it.
I don't know. Is that a thing? You
No.
said TweekR.
Money on Paul.
Wow,
Oh,
wow.
shit.
That's some strong money. You want to get in the ring first off?
Well, I know you'd win. I just was trying to
You throwing money on the underdog?
wear a fucking jumpsuit,
Wait a
bro.
second, does Paul get his bat or?
If Paul gets his bad, I'm done.
But see, look at that.
That's
All of
Homer Reyes.
that questions the credibility.
Yes.
So
Right.
it speaks back to the
Yes.
is boxing credible
right.
now, or is it a
I
fucking
think-
hashtag or a title?
You know what?
Is that anything now?
Yeah.
In business, do you have a responsibility?
Is
to
it
be
a game?
credible?
Is it a play?
Do you
Right?
have a responsibility to be relevant?
You know what? That's crazy. He just hit on it. Like,
Yeah.
Whether you're into sports or not, at the end of the day, it's about integrity and credibility. And when you see people selling out their credibility, integrity for views, it's almost like there's so many topics we hit on today where it breaks down to the same thing. At what point are you willing to compromise your integrity for views?
It brings it
Right?
back. It brings it back to like the beginning of the podcast. Like, what are your values?
Yeah.
You know, are your values in the
Full circle, baby.
in the sport itself?
Yeah.
Or is it in the business of the sport?
Yep.
Or the money? You know, like
Yep,
you know.
yep.
But if it is,
What are your values?
what are your values?
Yeah, yeah.
Because if it's boxing and that boxing
The
world,
sweet science.
you know, like most people in that boxing world would say, like, it needs to be true. It needs to be real.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and
What are the
maybe-
weight of the gloves? What's
Yeah,
the size
yeah.
of the ring? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
we care about these things.
Yeah, so it's tough to cheapen boxing because it really
Can I make a prediction though?
shouldn't be cheapened.
Lamar Odom better knock Aaron Carter out, because if he gets knocked the fuck out and he's Nate Robinson #2 dog,
Yeah.
that's gonna really hurt
How
me.
is Aaron Carter getting
That's
in the ring?
bro. That's
period?
that will really hurt me, and I'm gonna look like some type of way like I got.
What if they both win?
Yeah.
What
I
if
just
they
hope
both
have
lose?
You can't
fun.
both win. You only both lose. Yeah.
What if it's a draw?
That means they both.
Yeah,
bro,
exactly. That's
that
what
means
I'm
they
saying.
both
Yeah.
lost, bro.
I just hope that everyone at the point of this podcast has Googled Aaron Carter
And did you see his new
and
face tat?
and
his
and,
face tat, though.
and
That's the
face
only
tat
reason I
or
remember
drugs
who
or
the
whatever you
fuck
need
that
to
guy
like
is.
put on
I'm
the side
slacking, bro.
of Aaron Carter, but just know where he's at this point. And like I like, you know, I'm very
A lot of
sorry.
passion,
but,
a
like,
lot of focus.
Dude,
shit got weird really quick with Aaron Carter.
Hoping for 2021 to get back to respect of the sports.
Yeah.
And for all athletes to get back to actually taking action, to stick within their lane.
Question for Pavi.
yep.
Is that on the Olympic banner?
Oh, I just can't hear you from here. So yeah.
Stick to your lane. The
No, I mean,
Olympics.
like,
Yo, that makes me think about Brandon Marshall right now, and that's an NFL. I don't know if you're familiar with Brandon Marshall. He's an NFL wide receiver. Dude's like 6'4", 6'5", 230. He's been starting to box, and lately he's been calling out all the fucking heavyweights, and he's sitting there calling out the heavyweight champions of the world, and he's sitting there, he's like, dudes, I'll humble you in the ring. And I'll be honest with
He was
you,
a Miami Dolphin.
he was, and before that he was a
He has
Denver
no
Bronco.
business doing that.
Yo, sport.
There he is.
Windmills with the sports.
Coming out hot. Windmills
My
coming
man
out
Windmills
hot.
knows. So as you know, then Brandon Marshall was drafted by the Broncos, played there for how many years? He's a fucking monster. He's been boxing for how many years, and now he's ready to go into the pros. And he's sitting there calling out all the professional fighters, saying, "I'm your size. I got the athletics. I know this shit. I'll humble you in the ring." So all of a sudden, he sees an opportunity to make a name, make some money in there. And he's retired from football now, but he's only in his, early 30s? Like, as someone in their late 30s, I can tell you right now that early 30s is pretty fucking young. So when I'm sitting there and I hear this dude, part of me's like, does he know what he's talking about? Can he go in there and box some ears? Or is he just trying to have parlay his act.
Well,
Okay, well-
clout though.
Or is it about clout?
Or is
Right,
it one of
right.
those things where it's like actually a legitimate interest? Because like
Yeah.
Yes.
as an athlete, you're allowed to have interest in
Exactly.
multiple sports. Like
Sure.
I'm watching The Last Dance right now, and that shit is gripping me.
Physically
So let's think
painful.
about like MJ who fucking retires from basketball and wants to be a baseball player all of a sudden, and then he's like, "Yo, I'm actually kind of good at this." Like, what the hell does that say about the whole topic? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that shows once again, it's like you got a bunch of multi-sport athletes, and you look at when I say this way, it's like the spectrum, right? What's your age? They call the NFL, not for long. You can be in there for 4 years. You could be probably 27, 28 years old and your career is done, right? So at the age of 28, 29 years old, you're going to tell this person they're too old to pivot their athletic abilities to another sport, right? And so you see these guys, and this is the other side of the boxing debate. You're seeing this new fertile land. We're seeing a bunch of athletes seeing an opportunity to market themselves, and they're seeing an opportunity to rejuvenate their careers and their brands. And they're out there fighting. And if they're able to bring in more streams and more pay-per-views than a professional boxer, who am I to tell them don't do that shit? Because all of a sudden they're bringing life to the boxing sport with a bunch of, as people will say, casual fans who might not pay attention. But if you're a football fan and you know who Brandon Marshall is, you're like, yo, this motherfucker's going to box. Maybe you're going to go watch boxing now. So are they wrong for pivoting and bringing someone along with them? Or not? Are they compromising the sport? Are they actually doing it a service?
If it comes into authenticity,
Yeah.
then like no. But if it is like a clickbait thing, then yeah. Like
If they get their ass
also,
knocked
side
out
note,
right away-
I think it's fucking hilarious that we're sitting here talking about sports with two dudes that obviously are like, yo,
You know what?
yo, sports are tight. Like,
yeah,
I don't,
But it's a lot easier to
I don't know
talk.
what's
It's a
going
lot
on here,
easier to
but
talk
you know
about
what I
I
mean?
love
sports.
that Twilight Zone.
It's a lot easier to talk about sports with people that actually are super into it because like they have a hard opinion
Yeah.
and it's like a hard yes and a hard
I'm
no.
like, I'm hard passive on this.
No, but
That's-
but it's a different perspective because like you actually have like maybe a outsider's
yeah.
perspective where it's like I actually
Casual
don't.
fans' perspective.
I don't have any skin in the game. I don't have any skin in the game. I'm just giving you like my 2 cents.
Baby, let's go.
No, I'm saying these guys don't. You know, like
I know.
I got no weapon in this
When
fight.
you break it down, it's like comes to this conversation on values. You're talking about values between, and that's been the
Yeah,
concept.
exactly.
Yeah.
The sense of like,
That's the whole-
You guys are so passionate. These guys are not.
Yeah.
So they're able to understand.
Excuse me.
yeah, exactly.
When was the last sports game you saw? Never. But
I went to a
the
Green Bay
correlation
Packers
doesn't
game.
matter. Don't need to talk with me, but the correlation between you two would be to bring that back together and understand your values and your values not, and what that means today.
But
So
I don't want to jump on toes.
Go
but
ahead.
I'm gonna jump on toes.
go ahead.
Jump on some toes.
As we said earlier, this
Quick
is
Bruce.
my podcast now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the Windmills podcast.
Windmills podcast. We're just happy to be here.
There's a delicate beauty in that between bringing attention to a sport for the right reasons and the wrong reasons. So
Or to an
say
issue or
I'm
a
a
topic.
6'29" football phenom.
29.
I don't understand how height and time work.
You lost.
It's okay.
But
That's wrong. But yeah.
okay,
No.
it's wrong. Say it was
But it's
wrong,
so right.
But
That's
that's,
what-
the thing.
He's a
So I
giant.
had my moment in the sun.
Yeah.
And I stepped back and I was like, you know what? I really like boxing or I really like X amount of sports. And I had a following when I was successful here.
Yeah.
And I've brought it here.
Yeah.
If you do that authentically, who is to judge?
Not
For
me.
the Jake Pauls, the Logan Pauls, the whatever Robinsons, I don't know, the Lamar well,
Sure.
Whoever the fuck
vaguely
they
know
are.
Lamar
Whoever
Odom.
the
but-
fuck they
I
are,
don't even
yeah,
have
yeah.
a direct reference, but it's
No,
something we can actually
exactly,
speak a little
exactly.
more to. Like, think about how many times it's happened in music, where people have like been over on this side, and all of a sudden they're on this side of the fence, and they're like, "What's up? I'm doing this other thing." Like, it doesn't.
Of course, you
it's-
can relate
It's
on.
it's only relevant if it's authentic.
And it's the beauty of questioning those norms.
Yeah.
So you see someone who you would never expect to be something, and not me because whatever.
'Cause you're
Football guy, 6'29".
Because you're lighting people
Hello.
up on the field, dog. Yeah, I know.
Hello.
I'm breaking ankles out there with my jukes and my stiff arms.
We know you are.
But-
You're so good at. You're so.
He's speaking athletic.
Hello.
I-
He's the Japanese speaker, man. Yeah, yeah.
But that's the thing. Like if
He
you come
Googled
at
it
something
before he
from a
came
place
on.
of authenticity and like a genuine passion for it, whether it is sports, business, this or that, and pivoting or this and that, I mean, people will follow, whether it makes sense or not.
Yeah.
Aaron Carter, Backstreet Boys brother, whatever, face tattoo,
whatever.
sweet.
How,
But now he's in the ring. Is that bringing more attention to the sport of boxing,
Yes.
for better or for worse, or is it diminishing it? Who is to say? Because for
That's
us,
the-
we'll be
that's
like,
the
what
question.
the fuck are you talking about? Or for someone who's passionate about it, be like, you know what? I don't agree, but like, what are the odds, or this or that? Like, it's an ongoing, evolving thing.
And it's
Is
tough,
he just
man.
doing
Like,
it to get bucks for getting punched
neither-
in the
I
face,
would
or
s-
does the homie love fighting? Like, you know what I mean?
But I would
Like,
say
maybe
neither
they're,
Sean
like,
or I have that exact answer. It's just honestly a question.
Honestly?
because it is
So
like
interesting.
because I could be on the other side of that like conversation. Like, you know, like I think boxing is so traditional and so beautiful as it is,
Yeah.
but is it losing its touch in terms of like, you know, there's UFC out there, there's other sports that like really like
is
pumping shit
UFC,
up and like, you know, like
outshowing it almost,
right.
you know?
So it's tough. Like, do they need to like start throwing
Doing
some
something.
celebrities? Do they need to start doing some PR? Do they need to start doing something? And then at what point does that actually like
they need
diminish
TikTok
the
dances.
Hang on.
sport?
That's the
I mean,
thing.
I'm gonna say one thing on that is that the big difference between MMA and boxing is the fact that you got MMA, you got a couple sanctioning bodies. You got UFC, you got Bellator, they run shit.
Yep.
In boxing, you have promoters, and they
Right.
control that shit, and you have promoters protecting their boxers.
So it's a different
It's
game.
a different sport,
Yeah.
but what I love what you guys said, and that's why we want to ask you guys, coming from like the opinions of people who aren't in sports, but you guys see parallels to other industries. It's like when you're outside the industry, at what point is it worth it for the eyes? At what point is it worth it to bring in new blood? And at what point are you compromising what you do just to get new eyes? And I think boxing's at a big crossroads, and sports and all these things, like we talked about Black Lives Matter earlier. And it's like, at what point is the cause worthy of bringing new eyes by doing this? You know what I mean? At what point is your message worth the medium? You know what I mean? And I think that's the beautiful thing when you bring it full circle, is what we're doing, is it compromising your message or is it strengthening it? And it's a great
Totally.
question.
I think at the end of the day, we've had some pretty dope conversations.
Yeah, we have. It's
I
been-
think I just
Yo, throw this in one more thing. It's like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, throw one more thing in
the
because we're
cause
gonna.
is always worth it if you attack it from a place of like understanding that it is.
And authenticity.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
No.
And thank you guys. You know
You're
what I
right.
want to say? I
Oh,
want to
man, I
thank
wanna
these two
thank so many
gentlemen
homies.
for
Yeah.
sitting here and participating. Even on conversations that were like, yo, man, we don't give a fuck about
We like
sports.
sports,
They
we
sat
don't
here,
care who knows.
and you know what though? They found the
Nobody
they
cares.
found the relevancy in their own side.
Totally.
You guys found a relevancy
Windmills,
in their side.
Baylan,
you,
Denim
guys.
Scratcher, Steven, 50-50, Jordan,
James Addington.
Addington, Brian
Powers.
Atkinson.
Man.
We got Pavel in the house. We got
Happy
them all,
bottles,
man.
happy
Like, you know, like we got
bottles.
people. So we want to thank everyone for being here. So much
For letting
love.
this happen again.
Oh man, and thank you. This is my dog right here, dog.
This is what's up.
What up, dog? What up, dog?
My fucking heartbreaker over here. That's my motherfucking heartbreaker. Dirty Pretty. My man Dirty Pretty over here, dog.
I think he's trying to go home, baby.
Before I knew your name, I knew you was Dirty Pretty, dog.
That's where it started.
Dirty Pretty.
Higher these chemicals. Whoa. I know they're cynical. It's bad for my health